show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison. I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing. Doing a damn thing. The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. You know what time it is. You all know what time it is. It is time for Notre Dame to face their first real physical football test of the year. Edition of the Always Irish After Dark show. As always, thank you for being here. You can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny out as well. Notifications on. You and I both know why. That way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd at gmail.com. Audio only anywhere you want it. You can get it to call-in lines. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, all those new age technology. Well, Facebook's for old people now, right? And Instagram's for young people? I don't know, but I'm on both. Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Read all about it. We got articles before the game, after the game, in between games. You name it, we claim it. All right, folks. Here we are. Here's the deal. Couple calls. We'll get right to you. 312-988-15. Dial it up. I want to know your confidence level for Notre Dame entering this contest. Here's the thing. It was beautiful. The first couple weeks. It was gorgeous, you guys. Notre Dame fans chilling out in the second half. John's over there and my health report's getting better by the minute. I'm sitting there in these last 2 second halves. My hair's growing back in. My blood pressure's going down. My insurance premiums are going down. Like all of that. I love it. It was beautiful. But we all knew this day was coming, Notre Dame people. We all knew this day was coming. It's time for Notre Dame to play a better opponent. It's time for Notre Dame to play a better opponent. Now, as somebody who has a receding airline, mostly thanks to Brian Kelly, I appreciated these first 2 weeks. I really did. I appreciated just to be able to lay back and chill. Things are going to change. We're about to enter the real part of the schedule. Tomorrow's the first physical test, and I want to know your guys' confidence level. That's what I want to know. I want to know your confidence level. Okay? This is where it gets serious. This game is the only game before Ohio State that could even be a trap, should even be a trap, anything. This is it. We have been talking about those first 4 games, just how critical they are, that Notre Dame's undefeated at all costs, all of that. I'm not getting ahead of myself. Central Michigan, I know you could lose to anybody. Let's all be real. This is it. This is it. Show up physical, fast, and ready to play. This is the first one. I don't want to come on here tomorrow afternoon and go, those teams must have just been way worse than we even thought they were, and we knew they weren't any good. I don't want to do that. I need Notre Dame to go in here fast and physical. I don't give a shit if it's 100 degrees in the Carolina heat at noon. I don't care. for all intents and purposes, the season starts tomorrow at 11 o'clock my time. All right? Physical and fast. That's what I need. Okay? Give me your confidence level. Give me what you're worried about. The Notre Dame media has been weird with this. The Notre Dame media has been weird with this. I saw a lot of people, oh, Notre Dame going to win by a lot, and then the week goes on. And then I saw people start to kind of come back a little bit to where they don't have Notre Dame winning that much. And they're talking about NC State's physicality and they got a good defense and all that stuff. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that. I am not trying to hear it, okay? Here's how I look at this. Here's how I look at this. You bring Sam Hartman in here to do a couple things. One is give you a better chance against the elite opponents, obviously. But the other part of that is all of those second-tier opponents. No offense to Duke. No offense to Louisville. No offense to NC State. Talent-wise, those are tier 2 teams. They are not USC. They're not Ohio State. They're not Georgia. Okay. Tier 2. You bring Hartman in here to build you margin against tier 2 teams. That's why you bring the guy. It helps you against the great teams. And when you're playing these tier 2 teams, it should give you margin because of what he is. Combined with that, here's the deal, you guys. Notre Dame has a lot more depth than we're used to. No, I think these guys are developed. Listen, am I nuts? Either the recruiting and the development or the recruiting and the development are better. They're just better. When I look at Notre Dame playing this year, I don't go, oh, there's one or two good guys that Notre Dame has. We got a bunch of them. We got a bunch of them. And I'm not used to that. I'm not used to that. I think Notre Dame is deeper than we've seen in a long time. When I say deep, I mean you can rotate guys in and they produce. They're not a liability. That's what I mean by deep. Notre Dame's more depth, has more depth than I can remember. And they got the best quarterback playing that I can remember since Brady Quinn, probably entering a big game, saying, how do you feel about this quarterback? For those two reasons, I think if Notre Dame plays a B-plus game, they win by 10 or 13 points. Like, I respect NC State's tough defense and all that. Whatever, I respect all that. We just got more. And the quarterback's so damn important. I'm not going to get in my own mind and convince myself Notre Dame's about to lose to this team in the heat. I'm not. Go in there, play fast, play physical. Our guys understand what this game is and where it falls on the schedule. If they don't come ready to play, we're going to feel a lot less good about the first two games we felt good about. I don't know what else to say, but that's how I see it. So that's my kind of opening monologue of where I'm at. If Notre Dame plays a B game, they win this by double digits. A B game. Not being offensive to NC State, just calling it like I see it. Calling it like I see it. Okay? Here's a couple more things. Here's a couple more things I'm going to get into, and then I'm going to honor the phone calls and hit the donations. I got a bunch of emails the last day or two, the last few days, saying, John, I'm a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm a loyal listener to your show. I love all that you do. I followed you the whole time. You got to let this BK thing go. You're turning me off that you're mad about happy, I guess, that BK failed and all that. You know, what are you doing? And I don't like this. You need to get over it. No. It's my show. I'm doing what I want. I have a personal vendetta against Brian Kelly. Once Notre Dame got into the season and started playing good, I didn't mention Brian Kelly. he did what he did and said what he's saying and is saying what he's been saying. I'm taking shots where I could get him. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. I don't care. I cannot be more clear about that. I don't care. You know how much joy my little petty heart had posting that episode this morning of everybody clowning Kelly online? You know how much fun I had? I don't care what you think. I don't care. I don't care. So I appreciate people reaching out or whatever, giving me program opinions. I don't care. So if you're somebody who says you love my show, you love everything John does, but you're turning me off this Kelly thing, I have an idea for you. Don't click on the Kelly video. It's not like everyone is Kelly. Just don't click on the one where I troll Brian Kelly. But I don't care. It's my show. I'm going to do what I want to do. I have a personal vendetta against that man for how he operated and treated people at Notre Dame. And that's the end of the story. It may be wrong. It may be right. I may be petty. You may not like it. I don't care. Okay? So that's what I'm going to say on that because I got a bunch of messages about it. If he would have just won the game a bit normal, I wouldn't have said a word about Kelly. Big game Brian's back. Big game Brian's back. He's back. And I can't wait. It's hilarious. All right. Super chats. And then we're going to get this going. Andrew McDaniel, what do you think about Michigan? Come on, Andrew. Don't do this to me. You trying to make me blow out my voice before the game even starts tomorrow? Oh, boy. Look at this. Voila. There he is. He's back from his NC State hiatus.
Oh, geez, you brought me in. I totally forgot I was here. I was like that guy who fell asleep the other day.
Yeah, Pat, that's how you know you have an entertaining radio show when somebody falls asleep on the air. Yeah, it's a sign John's got it going on. It's riveting entertainment. The guy's snoring on the line. Pat, welcome to the show. Welcome back. Let me get through these super chats. Pat, I'm going to get your opinion on this ball game. We'll take a couple calls. Eric with the $20 holler. Eric is the Notre Dame fan stuck in Michigan, the lawyer. Love him. Okay, player, I'll get things going for you. $20 holler from the good lawyer himself. Also, $20 holler from Andrew Gilmore, 224. He's trying to get out of a function. I see him on the lines. Andrew, I'll get right to you, buddy. $2 holler from Phil. Happy Friday night, boys. Happy Friday night to you and the family, Phil. Tell the wife I said hi. And also, bring that fireball. That's the other thing, Pat. We've been talking about this tailgate event. Here it is, 1 week away.
Oh.
It's exciting. We're going to have a lot of people. D Daily with the $20 holler statement game time. Let the ACC know what's coming for the rest of ACC play. Love how it's the early time slot. I think this team plays better in the early time slot. Yeah. Until they get thunderstorms and this turns into a South Florida type dynamic, which Pat and I were together for that one. We need to avoid that. That was a long day and a long night with some fun, but also a lot of problems. And Pat, I mean that in every way possible. $20 holler from Andrew McDaniel. I missed you, bro. I feel so bad. Pat, I finally miss a morning show because I'm golfing. I get all these messages. Where's the show? What the hell are you doing? A bunch of people said, I'm finally available to call in and you're not there. Go figure. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes.
You think they actually were available to call in or they're just telling you that?
I think they probably wanted to make me feel bad. Jacob Brown with the $20 holler. Stay true, John. That's why we love you. That's why we're here. Listen, there's a lot of people, man, that tell me what I should and should not have on my show content-wise. A lot of people feel free to do that. Start your own show. Like, I don't care. Do your own thing. Start your own show. You can talk about whatever the hell you want. If I want to clown Kelly because my petty little art wants to and it makes me happy, I'm going to do it. Damn it. I've earned that right. Pat.
Yeah.
I'm not buying into this NC State thing.
No.
Now, if this was a bunch of years ago and I questioned our roster and we had a quarterback I didn't trust and Kelly was around, it'd all be different. I believe this specific Notre Dame team, the quarterback's too good and there's too much high quality depth and the vibe is too good right now. And they understand what's coming in a couple weeks. Combining all those, I see no way they lay a big fat egg tomorrow.
Yeah,
I just don't. What do you think?
Well, it's their first true road game. The Navy game wasn't a road game. So I think just anytime you're going on the road for the first time, it doesn't matter who you're playing, you're getting pumped for it. Going into someone else's house, getting all that pressure. And I think Hartman's probably got a little chip on his shoulder because a lot of people are saying NC State did this, NC State did that. So I think Hartman he's probably going in there saying, I'm finally going in there where I got a team that could play football. I got an offensive line that can block for me. I got fast wide receivers who are catching the ball. I think I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it as a trap game. It's not. I don't see. I don't see a letdown here.
Wait, Pat.
Yeah.
A trap game to me means it kind of sneaks up on everybody. This game has been circled since this schedule came out of like, this is the first test, circle it, mark it. You got to be prepared for it. It's so trappy. It ain't a trap. This is not a trap. And you know what else isn't a trap? Duke's no longer a trap.
Duke's no longer a trap. Central Michigan.
Neither of them are traps.
Central Michigan is the trap game. This is a ramp game. I know we're gonna be.
I swear to,
we're gonna be there.
Don't even, Pat.
But it's true though, John. It is.
Pat, no. I swear to God, if we plan this tailgate party for Central Michigan for like 8 months and we lose to them, blowing the whole thing leading into Ohio State, guess what? I'm never having another tailgate event again, and I'm never coming back to Notre Dame.
We'll talk about that next week.
I'm never coming back. They can't lose. That's for next week. But you can't lose on the Always Irish tailgate day. It'll be the end of me. Anyways.
Hey, so we'll talk about that next week.
But Pat, here's what I've been hearing from Notre Dame haters and Notre Dame fans that want to be miserable. I've been hearing NC State owns Hartman. In the last 2 games, he has 6 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions against those guys. And I've been getting messages on Twitter all the time saying that this week. Here's my response to that. He had to throw the ball almost 100 times in those last 2 games. They ran the ball for like 17 yards last year. He had no help. He had to throw it to be the whole offense. No running game, no offensive line, none of that stuff. This should be a different dynamic. And that's why I think it's just that doesn't apply.
It's not Notre Dame versus NC State again. It was Wake Forest. All right. He was playing for Wake Forest. He's now playing for Notre Dame. He didn't do that with Notre Dame. He's not going to do that with Notre Dame. He's got 2 of the best offensive tackles in the country protecting him. He's got a power run game that can take control of the game if it needs to. He puts the ball on the money, so he's going to have time to throw the ball. He's going to find receivers open. They're going to catch the ball like they've been catching the ball. I don't want to sound like a dick, but I'll say he probably will throw an interception in this game, just because he's going to throw an interception at some point. So I'm fine with him doing it in this game versus like Ohio State. But he will probably throw an interception. It's not going to hurt the team. I think Notre Dame still wins by more than 20 points.
Yeah, I don't know why. I'm in my gut. You know me. I'm a nervous Notre Dame fan. I feel good about this one to the point where it's making me nervous, Pat.
But you know why
my lack of anxiety's causing anxiety.
Do you know why you feel good though? Because up until this point,
Miller Lite.
Up until this point, Notre Dame has done everything they were supposed to do. And we're not used to that.
Yep.
We're not used to that.
Even in wins, we're not
even in wins. We're not used to that.
Yep.
And so going into this game, no, you're used to what happened. You're used to what happened in Florida State. That's what we're used to. So going into this game, there is no indication outside of just recent memory of what this football program used to be like. That's what you're expecting. I think Notre Dame is I thought I read the weather is supposed to be bad.
I hear
right? I
that
think it's
there's
supposed to
off and
rain.
on thunderstorms all day now, so we might end up in a South Florida dynamic.
I don't
Do you
think
see this, Pat? Do you see this message? John feeling good is not good. I know, but Pat,
John's feeling good is artificial right now, guys.
we have never seen Notre Dame recently play these tier 2 opponents with appropriate quarterback play, Pat.
Correct.
That alone changes a lot of things.
I wasn't very bullish on this team to start the all preseason. I was worried about the defense, and I wasn't sure if I saw somebody put a message in there that our wide receivers are unproven. How long do we get to say that? They're catching the ball and they're scoring touchdowns. How long do we say they're unproven? Like, at what point do we say these guys aren't bad? These guys aren't bad. You
got to do it against talent people respect. You got to do it against talent.
Well, fine. Then I guess we say it until Ohio State. Fine, Andrew. They played 2 loser teams, but what is it? And they're playing another loser team. North Carolina State is not going to be it's not a top tier talent. It's not a team that's going to challenge for the ACC. Clemson and Duke will probably beat this team. So I'm not sweating NC State. I think NC State is down. They have no run defense. If it starts raining, you put the ball in the running back's hands and you just control it. Take the game out of just take them out of it.
I'm not.
D1. So guys, it's D1. So was Navy. Navy was D1. So, that's a D1 football team. I don't care. How can you say they could blow up one team who's D1, but they can't blow up another team who's D1? I think Notre Dame's going to score 40 points again or more. And I think I'm thinking, I don't know if NC State gets a touchdown.
I feel like my history of anxiety and always looking at what could go wrong and everything, I feel like that gives me credibility in my own mind that I'm on the right track here. Because my pre-setting is glass half empty and to worry. I'm just telling you, I feel like this is different. I feel like this is different.
This is different. I am actually really shocked by the pessimism in the chat. Like, what do you guys think you think it's gonna go down to the fourth quarter? I'd be surprised if he'll probably play the whole fourth quarter, but I don't think this game is even close in the fourth quarter.
Pat, I refuse to Lou Holtz this thing to where early in the week we're going to kill them, and by the end of the week we built them up as a Super Bowl contender. I'm not doing that. I just don't.
Yeah, that's Freeman. Freeman could do that to the team. We don't have to do that. I'm not there on this game. I feel like if Notre Dame takes care of business, you just protect the football and you score again. It's John. It's the same exact game plan as Navy. It's just you're playing against a more conventional offense where hopefully, because they're saying, this quarterback, he's supposed to be able to throw the ball, right? Fine. You're throwing against the strength of Notre Dame's defense.
Well, here's the other thing. This kid's a good runner. Last week, they had almost 200 yards running. He had half of them. Okay.
Right.
So if I'm Notre Dame,
but and this is the thing. They played UConn. Right? They played UConn and they, they won the game. The score looks a little closer than it actually was, but they didn't play great against UConn. They didn't play great. Notre Dame is a better football team, top down. Every position on the roster, Notre Dame has a better player, maybe except kicker. I don't know yet.
Yep. And, that's how I see it too. And so I'm not trying to be arrogant. Notre Dame has not proven enough. Marcus Freeman hasn't proven enough to have that arrogance. It's not a situation where I'm like, you can roll the ball out there and Notre Dame's just going to win because of I don't know what. It isn't like that. Listen, there's games within games. I understood the level of competition the first 2 weeks was very low. Therefore, the bar wasn't just, is Notre Dame winning or losing or going to win or lose? And then I'm happy or sad. I was looking for things in the game. And the first 2 weeks, the items I was looking for within the game besides the score, I was impressed with from Notre Dame. And I am someone who has a very, very high standard of what it takes to impress me with Notre Dame. I have a very high standard, and I'm genuinely impressed with the first couple weeks. The depth, how precise Hartman's been. The games haven't been close at all. The depth, rotating guys in, and you have no drop off. You got second and third tier defensive guys in there, no touchdowns still. Like, all of that is telling me this is a different kind of Notre Dame. And I am not that freaked out about tomorrow. Am I frozen, Pat?
No, you're not frozen. I was just looking at something.
Oh,
I have the Illinois Kansas game up, and this is just a bloodbath. It is a bloodbath. No, you're right. I don't, and we're gonna play a third. I don't see this team as what everyone thought it was going to be in the beginning. There's just a different feeling right now when Notre Dame takes the field. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah,
they handle their business different than what we're used to.
Yep, that's exactly how I feel about it.
They just handle their business different.
I feel like they're operating on a different wavelength. Like they're operating on a little different wavelength of like everybody being on the same page. I think the coaching's been really good so far. And listen, now, if we get out there tomorrow, Pat, and the offensive line is getting worked over and there's no running lanes and Hartman's scrambling for his life and the defense is giving up then we're going to have to come back here and then ask tough questions about what's the real Notre Dame and you beat the hell out of nobody and then you struggle against the good team. What's going to happen against Ohio State? All that, fine. We can have that discussion.
We can have that discussion. I'll eat crow.
Me too.
I've done it before. I'll do it again.
Me too.
But I'm not going to let what I have seen be what I have seen in the past, what I have experienced in the past from Notre Dame, from a different coach, a different roster, a different program altogether, influence what I am seeing right now in the real world.
That's it.
And what's happening in this time. This team is coming out there and they're handling their business. Push over or not. Look
at this chat. That's about right. I think that's the perfect way to sum it up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's right. It's scar tissue. It is. It's what I think people have. For 30 years, we're used to Notre Dame. I'm sure a lot of these guys who are sitting there saying I have a bad take or whatever are they still think Notre Dame's going to win this football game. They just think it's going to be a lot closer than what I think it's going to be. I don't think this is going to be much of a game. Yeah, the first quarter might play a little bit close. I think NC State cannot run with our guys. They just can't do it. They can't do it. They can't do it once we start cycling all these guys through. We keep our defensive linemen fresh. We keep our wide receivers fresh. We keep our running backs fresh. We could run, the one guy's out. We could run 4 running backs and not see a drop off.
Yep.
This team can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't see this. You can't see this from NC State. They don't have that depth.
Now, I will say this. I mean, anything's possible. It is like Notre Dame could Clemson themselves and move the ball and fumble it inside the 10-yard line 80 times. Like that shit happens. But I'm just saying, in general, if Notre Dame plays a decent game, they win this by double digits. That is just my observation looking at the talent. And if it doesn't go that way, then we have to look at what went wrong. But the items inside beyond the game scores are what are making me feel that after the first 2 weeks. And so
this is a team that has showed up ready to play. They're prepared. Yeah. It's just different. And I have full faith that Marcus he's going to have this team ready to go. He's just going to, I think, we talk about what do we always say? A team learns the most between week 1 and week 2, right? They make the most improvement right. That's what we say. I think Marcus Freeman last year to Marcus Freeman this year, he's made the most improvement he can make as a head coach. He's always going to get better and better and better. But the jump he took from last year to this year, and if you ask him, he'll say it. And he now he's kind of got it together of how do I motivate this team? How do I get this team in place? Yep. He's learning to be a coach on a job. It was scary to watch last year, scary as hell to watch last year. It's fun this year because the team is performing like you would expect it to perform.
Yep. That's very well said. I think he's a lot more comfortable in his messaging, his demeanor, how he wants to operate this. I think there's good leadership. I think I like the vibes right now. Pat, I've been saying all week, things are going according to plan so far for Notre Dame.
Right.
And that is very bizarre for me to say, but things are going almost as perfect according to plan as could go so far. So maybe that should give me some anxiety. Somebody wrote in there, Pat, about the T-shirts, the people that donated a few weeks ago. I should be getting my samples in the mail tomorrow morning or Monday at the latest. If those sample pieces are well put together and everything's right, then I will be able to get the store activated on YouTube and go from there, and we'll get the people their stuff. I am not making the store live for you guys without seeing all the products first, trying them on, washing them, making sure that everything lasts. Like, I don't want to do that to you guys. The process is just taking a little longer than I wanted. So I should be getting those in the mail anytime. And if that goes well, then we'll make the store live and I'll let you guys know. What is this? NC State at extra practice time. Extra practice time. What are they going to grow better players in the extra practice time? Like, we're not Lou Holtz in this thing, Pat. I'm not going to, if it was Kelly, everybody could beat you. I'm not Lou Holtz in this one. I'm not building these guys up to where I'm scared of them. It's NC freaking State.
Agreed.
I'm not doing it. There isn't the talent. I don't care if it's hot. I don't give a shit. We're not doing it. You want to take some calls, Pat?
Hey, you go ahead, do that.
Everybody on this line, I think, is somebody I know personally, and I want to hear from.
I'm thinking Gilmore's going to come after me, right?
All you people, don't hang up. All of you I know, and I like personally. I want to talk to all of you. Like, you're not strangers. I want to hear from you. 224. It's Andrew Gilmore, Happy's older brother. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on, John? How are you?
I can't buy into the NC State hype. I can't. And you know me, Andrew. I'm a glass half empty Notre Dame guy. I'm always worried. Look at my hairline. I got a 6 head instead of 4. I'm always worried. I'm not buying into it. This team is different. It's deeper. The quarterback's better. That is the margin you need to have comfort wins against this type of team. Am I wrong?
No, so, all right, there's a couple different things going on here. In theory, I definitely agree with you. I mean, you don't bring in Sam Hartman. You don't get rid of Tyler Buckner, your 4-star quarterback, to bring in Sam Hartman, a 1-year rental, to sweat NC State. There's no doubt about that. But I do have to kind of push back against you and Pat on being all excited about the first 2 weeks of the season. Like, it's great that we're 2-0, and there's no doubt, I would not disagree that we looked the part in those first 2 games. But I mean, if you play a bag of sand in the first 2 games, like, we should push it over like pretty easily. Like that's.
Do you want my okay? Wait. Do you want my response to that? Here's my response to that.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, but are you going to try to say Navy is really like?
It's your show, John.
Been worried about? Yeah. Okay.
Here's what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is, in recent Notre Dame history, Notre Dame's played a bunch of teams early in the year that it shouldn't be close against. We have more talent than, should blow them out, all of this. And we haven't. So the fact that we have this year indicates to me progress has been made in that area. Now, maybe you want to say year to year, you can't do that. But when I say, I'm acknowledging those teams weren't good. But this time, we did what you were supposed to do if you were a put-together operation against those teams. Many years, we don't. We look like anus and either lose or barely win, and it's a relief, and we're not even happy about it. So to me, I mark that as a sign of improvement. That's why I look at it different. It isn't just that you beat the bad teams. It's that they did what you should do. Usually we don't. That's improvement.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to think of the games. Like, there's no doubt, like, because I went to the Toledo game in 2021. That was like scary how close that game was.
Saved by the bell,
I'll
bro.
say that-
Saved by the bell on that one. That was too close. Toledo. Toledo.
I'll say that, like, I mean, all right, I take your point, but I honestly, I mean, like, I can't.
But
I cannot use
Andrew,
anything from the first two games to relate to this next game.
Nothing.
I mean, I agree with you.
No, wait. Nothing. Anything. How sharp Hartman's looked, even acknowledging the bad teams.
Yeah, well,
11 out of 12 possessions he's in is a touchdown. Like none of that matters to you because it's Navy and Tennessee State.
No,
like this.
No, it definitely matters. Because I think Hartman's the sure hand. Like I said, you don't bring in Hartman to sweat the NC State game. So, Domer Guy and I were kind of sending messages to each other. I expect Notre Dame to win this football game and to cover. Are you okay if I go into like the two keys of the game that I think are going to just be vitally important to win?
Oh, I'd love to. Go for it.
Yeah. So first off, right now, like, you guys keep talking about Hartman and how Hartman's the difference maker, and he is way better, 100 times better than Drew Pine, and probably 10 times better than Tyler Buchner was. But the fact of the matter remains, and whether you agree with this or not, I'm just stating what national analysts say is the verdict is not out on our wide receivers. They did not see it in the first two games. I think our wide receivers have improved, but they didn't beat anybody or smoke anybody deep. So I guarantee you, if NC State's defensive coordinator is as smart as they say he is, he's going to load up the box and he's going to say to himself, hey, I know if I can't stop the run, we're going to lose this football game. I've picked off Sam Hartman in the past, and I don't think the wide receivers are good, and I'm going to rely on my cornerback. So I'm going to load the box. I'm going to play man-to-man coverage on the wide receivers.
Perfect.
And let's see if Notre Dame can beat me with those wide receivers. So I think the key to this game is there's two things that Notre Dame could do. Maybe Notre Dame's offensive line is so good it doesn't even matter if they load the box. We're just going to move the football. Or we could run into some serious running issues, and those wide receivers are finally going to get tested, and they have to make plays. If they don't make plays, then we could run into the same issues Clemson ran into against Duke, which they had to nickel and dime the ball down the field, and then they turn the ball over and stuff like that. That stuff can happen on the road. So that's the only way we lose is if our wide receivers can't separate from their good cornerbacks. They've loaded the box and stuff to run. But I have faith. I think if NC State's going to play man-to-man, then we should have the dudes to beat them. So that's on defense. And then I have 1 point on offense, that's on offense, but I have 1 point on defense. But go ahead. I mean, do you disagree on that point? I think that's what they're going to do.
No, listen, I think that's a very, very good point. On my notes, Andrew, I have, if ND struggles, ... Number one on the bullet point is the O-line malfunctions. Number two is these wide receivers don't get open against really pretty good corners, like nationally good corners. That part of their team, I'm giving them a lot of credit for. They have really good corners, way above average corners. Okay. If Notre Dame struggles, those are the areas that I think it would probably be in. However, for some reason, Andrew, I just think this team's built a little different and they're going to be okay. I just do. And if I'm wrong, then we're going to have a very entertaining post-game show tomorrow night. But I'm with you.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just think that Hartman is the real deal. And I think Estime is the real deal. And I think the running back room is the real deal. At some point this season, the wide receivers have to show up. And I think that it's going to come early in the season. Like NC State's going to say, hey, wide receivers, you're going to be the ones that have to beat us. So yeah. I think this game offensively is going to come down to the wide receivers. Like, you've got to show up, and it's going to be on the road, and it's going to be kind of a tough environment. It might be rainy, but you got to beat somebody. And I'm not even talking about like Merriweather beating some guy deep on a fade route or a deep post. Like, if you watch the Florida State LSU game, those Florida State wide receivers were doing like 10-yard slant routes, and like it wasn't even like that far down the field, but those guys were so fast and so athletic that they would break a tackle and take it for 40 yards. Like, that's what you need to do. And then all of a sudden you're like, crap, I don't know what defense to run because I'm scared of your run game, but we can't give up a play like that again. So now we got to play you honest.
Yeah.
And then that really opens stuff up. So that's what the wide receivers have to do.
Well, listen, man, your concern about this is completely legit. I just feel like overall Notre Dame could overcome that. I think that there's enough there that even if that is a little bit of a struggle, Notre Dame should be able to overcome it comfortably tomorrow. But you're not wrong that I'm looking at both the lines tomorrow and those wide receivers. Those are my first three things.
Yeah.
Pat, do you want to respond to Andrew at all? Go ahead.
Well, I would just say that Andrew, I hope you're right. I hope they do press Notre Dame into throwing the ball. The only thing I disagree with you, right? Fine, you can have your reservations about the wide receivers, but my only disagreement is that a great quarterback makes a good wide receiver. Okay. And so I think you're going to see him put the ball in spots that only the wide receiver can get it, even if they can't get separation. All these guys got to do is catch the ball. And so I pray the game plan for North Carolina State is load the box, one-on-one coverage on the outside. And I think Notre Dame will eat them alive doing that. And they'll go away from that before the end of the second quarter. And then Notre Dame will just run the ball all over them. I hope that's the game plan because it's going to blow up in their face.
Yeah. Pat, honestly, that's what I hope too. My only thing is that they got to prove it. Like, I'm not 100% that that's
fine.
Like, oh,
that's fine.
Sure that,
ain't no problem with that.
No.
That they can do it.
No, Andrew, that is a big question. Like that you are right on that. That is right. I just feel like in this particular matchup, Notre Dame could overcome that even if it is an issue. But in no way are you wrong for mentioning that question. Bro, that's on my list. I literally have a note that says, and if it goes bad, and that's the first or second bullet point. So you're not off there, man. I'm not going to fight you on this. I'm not.
So on defense, I think there's really there's two keys to the game. I watched the UConn NC State game. NC State's wide receivers are not good. And so, I have no doubt that we should be able to D them up. If we can't D them up, then I'm concerned that our corners aren't as good as advertised because UConn was D'ing them up. So our good corners should just absolutely take them out of the game.
Yeah.
The issue that we could run into is let's see if our defensive line is stout. I think we can stuff the run. So we should be able to take care of that. But you know what I mean? We saw, remember that was weird when USC was running the ball on us, and there were some other games last year where they ran the ball on us. So we need to make sure we stop the run. But the thing that could kill us, that could truly kill us, is if Armstrong breaks the pocket and either runs for first downs or he extends the play. I'm watching this Illinois-Kansas game earlier in the day, and I think his name's Daniels, the quarterback for Kansas. He should have been sacked a bunch of different times, doesn't get sacked, runs around and then hits a 40-yard pass downfield. That is a killer because a cornerback can't cover a guy for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what killed us against USC too.
Packet.
It's the same thing that killed us against USC. You can't guard for 15 seconds while that guy's doing circus tricks, behind the line of scrimmage. You are totally right on that. And your concerns, Andrew, completely valid. I don't know why.
Just don't see them. I don't see them. They're valid. I just don't see them.
No, wait,
it's
Pat.
Just a key to the game.
Wait, Pat.
Yeah.
I get all the things he's saying entered my equation. I just see Notre Dame overcoming them anyways. But it's not like I didn't realize they have really good corners. This is going to be a bigger test for our wide receivers. I just feel like overall we're going to be able to do enough.
And I think personally, I think the linebackers containing the quarterback and making sure he can't get loose, that's a bigger concern to me than the wide receiver concern. And Andrew, I know you're bullish on the linebackers. You like JD Bertrand. You like long hair guy. I can never say his name, so I don't bother. So I mean, if you think they're up to that challenge, then I really don't think Notre Dame is got much to worry about.
Yeah, I think you know what I think is going to be a secret weapon this game is the running back in the passing game because
man, it was
Andrew,
that was exactly what I was going to say. This is a game where you could use those guys as a weapon, and you could use multiple of them as a weapon. You're right on. Keep going. I like it.
Here, Dan.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was chatting with some NC State guy, and he was saying that they blitz constantly, and all I can picture in my head is, do you remember in the first half against Oklahoma State in the Fiesta Bowl, where Oklahoma State ran very similar defense to NC State, and they blitzed the house, and then instead of Chris Tyree picking up the block, he kind of slipped out over into the middle. They dumped it to him, and it was like just a 40-yard walk-in touchdown. And I think that, like, Jared Parker, you got to dial some stuff up like that, because if they're bringing the house against you, you're not going to hit a post route. You got to hit something, like designed where you're just going to take advantage of blitzes. So I think that they're going to be. I think that there's going to be plays like that. I hope that our wide receivers establish themselves. And to Pat's point earlier, if they do establish themselves in the first half, I fully expect them to back off that game plan, and then you use Estime to really lean on the defense. That's what he's best. That's what he's best at. Lean on the defense in the second half. Yeah. And it's like, because I think about Estime when it's like third quarter, end of third quarter ish, maybe 3 minutes left. You're trying to get a stop. It's third and 5, and they hand it off to Estime, and he gets 7 yards. Like, how deflating is that as a defense? Like, it's so deflating. So that's how we want it to play out. I think it's going to be a little closer than what you guys are thinking, but they're going to cover. I think it's going to be 28-17. Notre Dame takes the win, and then they move on to CMU for as the warm-up game for Ohio State.
Yeah. Hey, Andrew, everything you're saying, man, I don't think me or I don't disagree with you. I just happen to, for some reason, I feel pretty confident about it. And that's rare for me, and it's very awkward, man. Do you know how many people I've texted this week saying, you know how awkward it feels for me to feel confident in Notre Dame? Like, but I just do for some reason. And if I get burned, I'm going to yell about it in the postgame show and say what an idiot I was. So that's how that'll go, Andrew.
Nah, all we got to do is get a W. Like, obviously, we don't want to look bad in the process. Let's get a W. We're on the road, first true road game. Let's get that win. We'll go back home and get a warm-up game for Ohio State. So
there you go.
As long as we cover, because I got money on the game, let's cover that game.
Yeah. There you go.
Spread, and I'm good, baby. Yeah.
I like it. Hey, Andrew, good points, man. Like, the things you brought up are things I've thought about too. For some reason, maybe I'm drinking the Kool-Aid of these two games or whatever, and I might be dead wrong. And everybody could call me an idiot tomorrow night at the same time as now or whenever this game is. And we'll get into it. But those are good things to think about, man. Anything else on the way out? Thanks for calling. Thanks for donating.
No. You know, it's funny. I don't agree with you on the Brian Kelly stuff, and I won't get into that right now. But I love the video. So keep it coming, because Vigo's made a good point. It's great content, man. I love it. So,
yeah, Andrew, you know, the thing is, man, some of it is real. You got to know YouTube, anything like that stirs up drama or any of that, it always does better than me analyzing some schedule. Like, anytime you do anything, you know how it is on social media. Any of the drama stuff. Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's your real, but you're real now. I like.
It's personal.
Honestly, like, I don't agree with you. You're real.
It's personal. It's personal for me. And but I don't want to get wrapped up in the guy either. If he would have won and played a normal game, I would never have mentioned it. But when he Brian Kelly'd, I had to talk about it. Andrew, I want you to enjoy the ball game, my friend. I want you to have a couple drinks tonight, relax, sleep in tomorrow, and wake up, relax, and then the game will start. Okay, man?
Hey, you too. Hey, have a good one, John and Pat. Appreciate it, man.
Take
Later,
care,
Andrew.
brother. Have a good one.
So, John,
Yeah.
I have an issue tomorrow.
What's your? Well, yeah, you got the damn Ryder Cup. You're playing golf. You got to play golf
all day.
Just like I had to play golf today, man. Golf calls, Pat.
Man, it calls. And it's not like.
Wait. Let me ask you. What is your plan? Are you going to look at the score on your phone in the car? Are you going to record the game and ignore it?
It's going to be on it. So my tee time's at 8:40. My morning tee time's at 8:40.
Yeah.
So it'll be on in the clubhouse. So I don't know if I'm gonna. I won't be able to avoid it. And trust me, if things go bad, I'll hear it on the golf course from all the Notre Dame. And there's a lot of Notre Dame haters at this club.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
I really wish this week was the high school.
Tennessee State. Yeah. All right, let's hit another one. Las Vegas caller on the line. Nathan, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, John? And Pat, sorry.
Hey.
That's very nice of you, Nathan. Listen, man, Nathan, I feel very uncomfortable with how comfortable I feel that Notre Dame's going to do what they need to do tomorrow. And it's really throwing me off. Am I off base here, or where are you at on all this?
Yeah, so I'm kind of, I mean, obviously we're all big Notre Dame fans here, so I could probably mention a few games and you'll remember what I'm talking about. But Virginia Tech in 2018, that's one of the games I look back to a lot where, obviously this is the 9 o'clock start time for me, 12 o'clock start time for you guys out on the East Coast. But hostile environment, in a sense. I think NC State has that kind of reputation, but again, it's an early start time. So from that perspective, it shouldn't be as bad as it would be for a night game. But I think of the Virginia Tech game, and I think of the Syracuse game last year, where Notre Dame's going in against a team that everybody kind of respects. Everybody knows NC State's a quality program overall. And I think it's going to be a close game to start, probably throughout the first half, maybe a one-score game, possibly, honestly, even NC State winning that half, which I know would probably bug some Notre Dame fans. But I think when it kind of gets, as we go on throughout the game, I think it's gonna be one of those things where, the running game for Notre Dame, specifically Audric Estime, everything that Notre Dame can do offensively, where they just kind of attack you physically, it's going to wear down NC State, and eventually they end up winning by 10 plus points.
There you go. Yep, that's completely reasonable and feasible. Nathan, I got a question for you. You do a lot more diving into recruiting and talent and evaluation. I don't pretend to be an expert in that area, but that's one where you have done a lot of work and continue to do work and research. I want to ask you this. When I watch Notre Dame, even acknowledging the inferior opponents the first couple weeks, I have just felt like this is a deeper Notre Dame team. Take the quarterback out of it. I feel like it's a deeper Notre Dame team on both sides of the ball than we've seen in a long time. They can rotate guys in on both sides of the ball without a drop-off, get good play. Do you see that too? Or is that me getting overexcited about the opportunities to empty the bench and beat up on lower level teams? Or do you see what I see, that I think they have just a lot more depth and development than I was expecting? Which is it?
Yeah, I mean, just look up and down the roster. I don't even think it matters what they've done the first 2 weeks. In reality, you have obviously 4 running backs that they can count on, 5 when Devin Ford comes back from I'm assuming it's a concussion. I don't think that they have an Isaiah Foskey per se on the defensive line, but they roll 10 deep. I know they're missing Gabe Rubio, but last year, if they're missing Gabe Rubio, that's a huge deal. And now it's not, which is nice to see. The wide receivers, what was it? Was it week 1 last year against Ohio State? We were wondering if we were going to have like 5 healthy wide receivers on the roster. And now we're subbing 6, 7, 8, 9, guys. I know obviously Salerno just got hurt and it might end up, being a little bit more serious than Freeman let on. But, when you can lose a guy like that, I know a lot of Notre Dame fans specifically probably hate on Salerno a little bit too much, but when you can lose a 6-year guy like that, he's kind of a safety net for your quarterback. And, I know he's not a captain per se, but he's essentially a captain. And you can still feel pretty good. That's a good thing and a good sign. So you just look at all these different positions. I mean, they've obviously returned all 3 of their linebackers. Jalen Snead is now a sophomore and playing more. And then, they added 2 safeties. I guess if you include Harper in that, he's playing obviously more nickel than anything, but, they added 2 safeties or 2 secondary guys into a group that didn't really lose anything in the offseason. So, I think just from that, you look at that, aspect of it, and it's automatically deeper. And to your point, and kind of to my point about Foskey, is like, I don't know if they have a bunch of superstars like they did maybe with Mayer and Foskey last year, but they just have a lot more guys you can run out there and feel good about.
Yeah. Nathan, I just think between that increased depth and what Sam Hartman brings as far as baseline stability, meaning like just baseline stability of like, you have a quarterback you could trust going into any environment. At least I do so far. I just feel like Notre Dame's going to overcome it, and it might be tough and it might be physical early in feeling out period. I got to believe somehow, some way Notre Dame leans on this team and wins it by 10 or more points. That's what my gut's telling me. Now, if I'm wrong, we're just going to have a rough post-game show. And the build up to Ohio State's going to have a very different feel. Nathan, you know it. Even if we win tomorrow, but some of it looks rough, the build up to Ohio State is going to change, as opposed to Notre Dame going in there tomorrow, playing good and beating them comfortable. It's going to be a different build-up. Pat, what do you got?
Yeah, but even if Notre Dame goes in there and they wins like they're supposed to, so let's say ND Troll Snipers 31-7 score, and it's obvious from beginning to end Notre Dame was the better football team.
Then we're just going to say it's just NC State, right?
It's just NC State.
Yeah.
It's just Central Michigan.
Yeah.
That excuse, unfortunately, will not go away until you beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
Wait,
Pat. We beat Ohio State. It's just
Ohio State.
They don't have a
quarterback
anymore. The hell with them.
Right. They don't have a quarterback. They can't beat Michigan. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Clemson's no good anymore. It doesn't matter that you kicked their ass last year. It just starts to change the narrative. You beat USC. Oh, their defense sucks.
It's always
it doesn't change.
Notre Dame. Yeah.
It will never change.
Yeah. Nathan, let me ask you this too. Just as a kind of an evaluator guy, what do you feel like you've seen out of Marcus Freeman so far? To us, me and Pat, it comes off to me like he's a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable. His messaging, he seems just much more secure in the messaging and everything. Have you seen that? Or again, is that just a circumstantial thing? Because the first 2 weeks we haven't struggled, so everybody's in a good mood and everything looks good. I feel like Freeman looks a lot more comfortable in everything he's doing, and that gives me confidence. Do you agree or no?
Yeah. I think it was when I hopped on your show last week, I kind of mentioned just the entire process and the way things look under Freeman right now. It's just, there's a weird vibe. And when I mean weird, I mean good. I should say good vibe.
Yeah. I was going to say, by weird, you mean what it should feel like at Notre Dame. But it's weird to us, Nathan. But when you said weird, I know what you meant. You meant the way it should feel at a normal, like top 10-ish football program. Damn it. I'm glad we have it. I like it. And what do you think of this staff, Nathan? I think that this staff is pretty good. I think the evaluations on the recruiting's good. Yeah. And I think the development's good so far. And you know what else, too? I like Gino Guidugli, damn it. I like having a quarterback coach down there working with the offense, right there with them. I like that. That gives me personal comfort. What do you think of that?
You know who I think benefits? You know who I think benefits the most out of that?
The biggest thing.
Go ahead.
For me, the biggest thing, it really comes down to, I think Freeman has been much better at attacking weaknesses. Kelly always seemed slow to the process when it came to attacking weaknesses. Whether that be, a lot of us know in 2016, like it almost felt like he was forced to change things, and then obviously he did, and then things got better.
Yeah, he's slow to attack weaknesses, mostly his own, first and foremost.
Yeah. Exactly. And sorry, Pat. Like, I'm trying to watch everything right now with you guys on the screen. It's a little slow, so I couldn't hear that you were talking. So I apologize.
Oh no, that's okay.
But yeah, that's like the biggest thing for me, really, is that, like, last year, obviously we saw the quarterback play, obviously Buckner and Pine, and like I know obviously there's a lot of us out here that feel like maybe Buckner could have been the guy, at some point. But Freeman wasn't willing to wait around and find that out. He's like, Hartman wants to come here. We want him here. He can bring us a championship, possibly. Let's go do it. He brings grinders on the trail. I mean, obviously it starts with the head coach, and Freeman's a grinder on the trail, and that's going to be the first and foremost, the biggest thing. But he doesn't tolerate guys that are going to be, that don't have that grind on the trail. So that's really where the vibes come in for me, is just everything about him has been, what can we do from last year to this year that's better? And I feel like Kelly was always kind of just like, you know what? Well, we went 12-0 last year, so there's obviously not much we can improve on, or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, he didn't go 12 every season, but said, we went 10-2 last season, or we went 9-3. Let's just kind of incrementally get better. And Freeman's like, no, from year to year, I want to be. If we're 9-4 last year, I want to go 12-0 the next season. I don't want to go 10-2 and just tell the fan base, we're getting kind of better. We're going full throttle.
Yeah. Pat, what do you got on this?
Nothing. I was reading
nothing because you got distracted looking at the jet and you forgot your thought. I can see in your eyes, damn it. I've known you too long, Pat.
I was going to talk about
it in your eyes, buddy.
I was going to talk about the quarterback thing. I think the person who benefits the most from the quarterback coach being on the field is the backup quarterback. Hartman knows his business. I'm sure he's getting coached, but Hartman knows his business. And Jelly is benefiting the most because he's got a quarterback coach standing next to him saying, see what he did there? See his adjustment? See his check read? See that? See that? See that? Yeah. I think the backup is benefiting the most from having the quarterback coach on the field. I'm just telling you,
there is something different to me about the feel of seeing a quarterback coach. They always zoom in down there, and whether it's good or bad or whatever, Gadouli's with those guys. I just like that. I like that hands-on stuff with the offense. Anything else, Nathan? This is a big game, man. Let's be realistic. You shouldn't lose the Always Irish Tailgate game next week. This is the fulcrum point. This is the linchpin key to building that bridge to Ohio State undefeated. And then the world is, whatever's going to happen the next week. But I don't know, man. Anything else you got here? I feel good and it feels awkward. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. So my biggest thing, and I think it was the last caller, I think it was Andrew, his name.
Yep.
The one thing, and he was bringing up a lot of good points about the wide receivers and stuff like that. The one thing I'll say, and no one really mentioned this, I think one person mentioned it in the chat, and it kind of caught my eye as well, just because I was already thinking about it. But I think it's going to be a good slot day for Notre Dame, a good running back day for Notre Dame. Yeah. I don't necessarily mean just running the football, and a good tight end day for Notre Dame because.
Yep. But Nathan, think about it. That makes perfect logical sense if we have wide receivers where we're not exactly confident in all of them, and their strength is on the back end on defense. It makes perfect sense to lean on those tight ends, and then all the diversity of backs you have and throwing them passes and doing everything else. I love it. It makes perfect sense. Do you think that's what Parker's looking at?
Yeah. So I think he's in his head saying most wide receivers, even good wide receivers, are going to have a hard day against these NC State corners. Both of those guys are going to be in the NFL, and I think they're going to be really good corners in the NFL. So it's not just that they're good for NC State, they're good in general. So getting guys like Jaden Greathouse out of the slot, Chris Tyree, who has the speed, out of the slot, Jadarian Price, Jabron Payne, Jeremiah Love, we saw what they could do in the open field last week, granted against Tennessee State. I get it. And then we saw the tight end drive was hilarious because they obviously hadn't been involved all year. And then boom, Hartman made the joke and after the game where he's like, yeah, we just decided we're going to throw to the tight ends. And they looked really damn good when they were getting the ball. So that's where I think NC State, while they have good players all around, it's not necessarily the strength of their roster like it is on the outside corner spots. So it's like, okay, maybe Jaden Thomas doesn't have a great day, or maybe Notre Dame finds ways to put him in the slot and get him open. And then again, I think Jadarian Price, like I said, and Jeremiah Love, they're going to have possibly big days out of the backfield where, again, not running the football, but on screens or possibly a broken play where Hartman has to find a guy and all of a sudden he has 15, 20 yards to run, but he turns it into a 40-yard, 50-yard run because they're just fast guys.
Yeah.
And I think it could be a really good day for Jaden Greathouse and Chris Tyree as well.
Yep. Nope. I like that, Nathan. I like it a lot. The last thing I'll ask you is, do you want to come on soon and we could do a recruiting thing? And kind of go over once the season starts, we kind of drop off talking about recruiting because we have the games. I'd love to do that sometime if you have any information about the class.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You got my number. Just hit me up anytime and we can always work something out.
Perfect, man. We'll do that. Hope the golf game is good out there and go Irish tomorrow, baby. Thanks for calling, Nathan. Really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
Have a good one. Nathan Urbach, he was at Chicago's very own. Now he's Las Vegas's very own. Pat, that guy works for the minor league baseball team out in Vegas.
Really?
And does a bunch of stuff for them with scouting and all that stuff. Notre Dame fan. All right, Pat, we're going to bring up Rodney. Remember him from the
Rodney
Tailgate and the Hartman event? We're going to bring up Rodney, and you're going to talk to him while John uses the ladies' room. How about that?
The ladies, I didn't know you. Never mind.
Hey, it's my house. I can call it whatever I want.
How you doing, Rodney?
What's up, baby? What's up?
Rodney.
Oh, good evening, guys.
What's going on, brother?
Tired.
What's going on?
How you doing? Low
Good.
key
How are
tonight,
you?
John? Low key. I mean, me, not you. It's interesting. I was thinking about this. I think just like some of the fan base coming back on that, early part of the week. Oh yeah, man, we're going to win 38-0. Then you got, and that's kind of where I was at. I was thinking, I don't think this game's going to be that challenging. And then you get to the point where it's like, okay, maybe, I don't know, maybe 34-21 or 34-20. I was thinking, and now I'm going to come back to the other side of it again. Bottom line is, if it's a question mark, in my opinion. I think guys said earlier about the wide receivers got to have separation. We're going to get a test of the offensive line from a running standpoint. I want to know what they're going to be able to do against a physical mismatch. I don't. The whole talk about Hartman's team and or the team that got kind of that Hartman's had some problems with. I don't think that's going to happen because I think he's got that to prove. So I actually I think he's going to have a good game tomorrow. I really do. The question for me is this. Let me put out a scenario there that could happen. Okay, opening kickoff. Pat, what do you think? Opening kickoff. Notre Dame fumbles the ball. NC steps right on it. Quick 7-yard, little touchdown pass. Okay, 7-0 NC State. Crowd's into it now. Now it's like crowd's going crazy. We're noon kickoff time. It's hot. Things aren't feeling good. Notre Dame Nation is real nervous. Oh, here we go. But then maybe some of us are like, yeah, but this will fizzle out as the game goes on. Let's say next, we could, kickoff to us. We first run up the middle, no gain. All right, now you got second down. You got 8 yards.
Rodney,
to go.
are you going to call the whole game?
Hartman throws it out to the sideline, overthrows. Now it's second down and 8. Little, up the middle, the draw play to estimate 5 yards. Now we got a punt. We punt the ball. Guy takes it down to the 20-yard line. They're set up again. Another quick pass to the side. Guy makes one of our defensive backs miss. Goes the wrong way. Scores a touchdown. Now it's 14-0. That's where I think it's that kind of scenario right now there that I could see things. That's where Notre Dame Nation is getting a little nervous. if it ends up kind of like that, okay, then probably what happens then is we start getting our act together. We come back in the next drive, we score a touchdown, and then from there we start getting in a rhythm. Defense figures it out. They get a stop. We get the ball back. Now the game's tied. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that's the kind of scenario that I could see unfolding. Of course, John.
Wait a second. Wait a second. John, what the hell is going on? I walk back in the basement and I hear, and then the game's tied. It better be at the kickoff. What are you talking about? The game's tied.
I was just telling Pat the scenario where it could be that kind of game. Like what could
Ryan said John should call in from the John. Imagine me being live downstairs and I'm upstairs calling my own show to hear what's going on. That's funny. Sorry I interrupted. Keep it going, Rodney.
He was giving
what was Rodney talking shit about me, but I was upstairs? What happened?
No, he was laying out a scenario of how the game would unfold. And I'm glad you're back because he apparently couldn't hear me to try to interrupt him. He's going to call the whole game.
What do you got? Some sort of visions? Are you some sort of medium, Rodney?
You don't want to go down this road. You will stroke out.
You're getting too specific. What are you telling me? That this game's going to recede my hairline more than another decade? A swamp thing? Or what?
Hey man, honestly, my gut feeling on it was when it first early part of the week. I'm like, okay, let me think here. I'm like 38-13. That was where I was at to start the week.
Now, wait.
To 38-13.
Okay. That was earlier in the week. Maybe when you called Monday. Now we've gotten through the week, and now we're to the end of the week. Mm-hmm. If you've changed, I want to know why. If you've changed your prediction from the beginning of the week, why?
It didn't change for me at all. What happened is I started hearing everybody else talking about it. And I was like, okay, what do they mean? Why do they think this game's going to be 10 points? Like, that's a little weird. Even you, John, I mean, you're like, they're going to win by 3 touchdowns. You're like 2 scores, maybe, maybe 10 points.
Rodney,
you even said this is a game where they might even barely get by. And I'm okay with it.
Rodney,
I'm okay with it.
Listen.
Remember you
Listen, there are levels to this, and you know that. There are levels to this. And I feel if Notre Dame plays a B+ game, they win that game by 10 points tomorrow, okay? Now,
right.
Listen, it's throwing me off that I'm excited and feel positive, okay? Everybody's throwing off because John thinks Notre Dame's going to play good. Sorry, I just do. I that's just what I think.
Right. And when you were in the John, I was explaining a scenario that could unfold that might show what people are a little worried about. I don't think that's going to happen, that scenario I mentioned, but I see it could happen that way, and it could take a little time. Remember the North Carolina game? Remember didn't they get out a couple of years ago? They got out on like 14-0. Real quick, and then we slowly got back into the game, and then I think it ended. We didn't win them by like 2 touchdowns. I could see something like that. Interestingly enough, though, the North Carolina game last year with a much less capable quarterback, we took care of pretty well. And that game ended up being like a 17-point win. And I feel like they're not as good as I don't think NC State's at the same level of North Carolina.
What would
this year or last year?
Let me ask you this. If this game ended up in a scenario where either Notre Dame lost or it was close late and we're all stressing out about it, what do you think would cause that? I don't think that's
going to happen, by the way.
But like if it did, what do you think would cause it? To me,
well, I gave the scenario while you were down in the John.
I can't help it. I had to go. What do you want me to do? Hey, do you see?
Always poopish.
I wasn't gone long enough to accomplish that. But listen, do you see how
long
doing
it out there?
Though, John, it'll be turnovers.
This cord doesn't go all the way upstairs. So you think he's going to add to that? Hey, Rodney, there's some history there. The last 2 years, Hartman has 6 touchdowns, but 6 interceptions against them. I've been hearing about it all week.
It's funny. I was just saying that's the one thing I don't think is going to happen. I think he's got too much to prove. He's a 6-year guy. He's got a much better line in front of him. if the receivers don't have great separation, they at least have to catch the damn passes that are thrown to them. And they were doing, he was doing that last two games. They've spread the ball around. Lots of different guys have got it. I think you're going to see more of that. The question is, will we have kind of like that breakout, a couple breakout down the field passes that we've been kind of waiting for? I think they'll at least get one of those. But I'll say two. I'll say they get two.
Wow. And see,
then I say
Rodney, that's interesting for me to hear you say, because all week I've heard Notre Dame media people who know a lot more than I do and study a lot more film than I do say this might be the best secondary Notre Dame faces all year. So when I hear that overall they don't have elite talent, but they may be the best corners Notre Dame faces all year, that's interesting for me to hear you say you think we could get loose back there.
Well, that's because I think they're going to play. They're going to, because they know they have those corners, but they're going to overanalyze the fact that, okay, well, then we got to play these guys real close and we got to, man to man, and let's see if they can get open, and I think they will. I do think they may cause some problems, at least early on, with the running game. I could see them, stuffing our guys a couple times. Maybe things don't look quite as good until the game starts getting going, and still we loosen up a little bit. So I think look for early on for him to catch a couple big ones down the field, whether they're for touchdowns or they just get us down into the red zone. Look for that to happen. Okay, I really do believe that. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm just saying if Estime fumbles early on or something inside the 20-yard line or something like that, and a couple guys don't catch the passes that are thrown to them, here's the other thing too is I think the linebackers are going to be solid all year. I think they're going to play good all year. We know the corners are good. Is this the game the defensive line gets exposed a little bit? Is it? I'm not saying they will, but is this the game? And that's where maybe. And also, here's the other thing, John. We've won 2 games in a row against very inferior opponents. Is it maybe one of those things where, again, I don't expect us to lose or to be super close, but we could get tested a little bit just from that whole, ho-hum, we're good, we're going up to NC State, but we'll have them, we'll be fine. And they get, their metal gets tested a little more, and things don't go quite the way we want them to. I'm not saying that's going to happen.
Let me bring this up to you and Pat. 361, you're coming up next, and then I got a 707-859-360. You're going to be the next handful up. Let me ask this. I want to ask this to Pat and you. It crossed my mind when I was writing an article this week for USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. There's a shameless plug. When I was writing an article for them, I was thinking about this. Is there a scenario where you two could actually see it benefiting Notre Dame if tomorrow's not a easy walkthrough win, because we would be able to see how Notre Dame reacts to that pressure and having to react in the moment in an actual tight ball game in a scenario before Ohio State comes here? Do you think that scenario, as long as Notre Dame overcomes it, if they face some adversity tomorrow for really the first time all year, do you think that could help them big picture against Ohio State? As long as they win it. If they lose it, we're screwed. But I thought about that.
I like to hear you say. I like to hear it.
I want to see them blow them out, but I can make the argument that if it was close for a while, Notre Dame had to make some plays in a tight spot, it could help them in a couple more weeks against Ohio State. Am I crazy for that, or does that make sense?
I think that would actually be a good scenario for them, and I think to some degree that's what's going to happen tomorrow early on. Again, it still could end up being a blowout. By the way, just to get it out of the way, 37-17. Maybe 37-20. I'm really looking at something like that. 37-17, 37-20, somewhere in that range. Let's just call it 37-20. Okay, there you go. 37-20 Notre Dame.
Pat, what do you make of that? What do you make of that with the
I don't think NC State is anywhere as good as Ohio State. So I think adversity you see versus NC State doesn't help you against Ohio State. Because here's the thing. If you got
to make plays to win or lose a game.
Right. So if you make that play, I don't think that reflects against playing against Ohio State, because they're going to have better athletes. So that play is just going to be that much harder to make. I think Notre Dame, what you need to do is what you've been doing. You need to dominate this game from start to finish. That's the outcome you're expecting, because that's going to give you a better feeling going into that Ohio State game than struggling against NC State.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It just crossed my mind that it might be good to see Notre Dame overcome a little bit of adversity at some point before they're in that moment against Ohio State. So, but I don't want to see it because I want to see us control.
I don't want to see it either.
So I don't want to
against
Ohio State. See it.
Yeah, we saw them last year, and very much in general play very good on the road against teams that were decent but not top tier teams. They did struggle against USC, but I think it's that noon kickoff. It's the possible heat of the game. I don't like those noon kickoffs. There's something about that, just like a night game in the Brian Kelly era. There's just something about the noon kickoff that sometimes that doesn't always. I don't know.
Because a night game for Brian Kelly means it's a big game, and you knew what was going to happen. That's why I don't know why, but I have a feeling Notre Dame's going to go in there, and I'm not saying they're going to blow them out, but I think they're going to win by double digits. It's just in my mind.
Again, I think a 37-20 scenario is definitely good enough to where that's going to satisfy everybody. Yeah. It's going to maybe give them a little bit of a test early on. That's what I kind of expect. I think if it's that kind of score, it'll probably be because the first quarter. Keep in mind, if there's anything we can kind of book on the last two games, they haven't come out like a house of fire in the first couple games, within the first couple series of the game. They haven't necessarily caught the world on fire. So maybe that continues to play itself out a little bit. But
go ahead, Pat.
I think Sam Hartman's going to be so, yeah.
Go ahead. No, what you got on that?
What exactly what Domer Guy 88 just said. The thing I'm looking at the most is this game is the nastiness Marcus Freeman is trying to instill in this team. I want to see the nastiness of violence tomorrow. That's the difference. I do think that's the difference, and I think that's what we're seeing to lead it up to. You're not going to see nastiness from Notre Dame against Navy because of the tradition and what it means to play Navy. You're not going to see it against an HBCU. They're not going to do that. They beat that team like they were supposed to beat that team, but they weren't going to embarrass them. They weren't going to do what an Alabama or Georgia would do and put 70 points on them. It's not the Notre Dame style. But now you're playing against a team where you could actually show this is a nasty effing team, and we're gonna lay the wood on these guys, and everybody's gonna watch us do this and we're gonna do it because we can, not because we want to, but because we can.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I like what you're saying, Pat. I think you could be right. The fact that both of you guys are pretty confident about this makes me feel a little bit better. And it's not that I didn't feel good. I felt fine. I don't think there's upset. I don't think we're on upset alert tomorrow. I think it could look like that maybe early on, possibly. I will say this though: if Notre Dame comes out and takes a quick 2-touchdown lead, then look out. It's going to be a blowout. I mean, we're gonna win by 40 points or something if that happens.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking, man. I can't wait for the tailgate, man. Really can't wait. That'll be so much fun.
Dude, that's going to be so much fun. Everybody in our group is going to be there. Dr. John's coming in. Like everybody in our group from the Heart.
Dr. John's coming in?
Yeah, Dr. John said that he decided
that'll be great.
So he's coming in. We have everybody from the Hartman tailgate, all the group from the Blue and Gold tailgate. Like we're growing. This is going to be great. So far.
You mean the Blue and Gold game where you weren't there when I got there?
Yeah.
You didn't say that when I
got there after it was over.
Rodney, your car's operating issues are beyond my control, my friend. I love you, but I can't help that. Man. My name's John Kennedy, not John Meineke.
That is, that, John, that I've been snake bitten at the Blue Gold game because I didn't see this. Something similar happened to the Blue Gold game the year before.
Well, then watch it on TV.
That was the one where no one could hear you.
Watch it on TV.
That was the one that no one could get a hold of you because of all the stadium stuff, the Wi-Fi. That was what it was.
Yeah, they got that. They got some Indiana country farming town Wi-Fi signals and shit out there. I need you to fix that TV signal. Rodney, anything else on the way out? I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in another week, man.
No, man, I got a couple people. I got a couple people for you to meet. My nephew's coming. My best friend who's coming. You met Mike. He'll probably be there too. Yeah. So my best female friend will be there. It's going to be fun, man. Can't wait. We'll talk on the phone more about it, or we'll text or whatever, and I'll see what you want me to bring. Goulash, baby, goulash.
Yeah, there you go.
Just kidding. We'll
Always
figure it out.
Irish
We'll figure it out.
entourage.
I appreciate it, man. Have a good
Pat,
one.
you're going to be there, right?
Oh,
Pat?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there. I got my
course
wife, I
Pat's
got my
gonna be
dad,
there.
my
Oh, yeah, of
brother,
course,
my
yeah,
nephew, my
okay,
daughter.
Pat,
Okay. Just
Pat,
making sure.
I know what you need to bring, Pat. Miller Lite and cigars. That's all I need you to bring. You got that?
Shit, that reminds me. I need to order cigars.
There you go.
Miller
There you
Lite
go.
and cigars.
Miller Lite and cigars. Hey, man.
All right, guys.
We'll see you in a week. Enjoy the game tomorrow, my friend.
You will.
Have
you
a good
will.
one.
All right. Take care, guys.
See ya.
All right.
See ya. Oh, man. This is going to be fun, Pat. We got a big group. It should be good. Should be good.
I should get
Somebody wrote, Jaded Clay wrote, is the pretty lady going to call? None of them even know what she looks like. They just heard her voice, and they're so used to me. Anything sounds good.
I'm not gonna lie, John. She sounds like she's smoking hot. I'm not gonna characterize anybody, but she sounds good.
I know what she looks like, but I'm not telling anybody. 361, let's have a little fun. What's going on? Mike, what's up?
What's up, John?
Hey, wait.
I'm not the pretty-
Wait. Here's the number one thing. I miss you, man. I know you changed jobs. I saw on Twitter, and I applaud you. Sounds like you changed jobs and stuff, and it changed your availability. I mean, I congratulate you on that, but I want to say I miss you calling the show. Thanks for calling, bro.
Dude, I miss calling too, and I'm in sales, so just give me time. I haven't figured out the full flexibility to make those mornings available, but I will.
There you go. But I appreciate the effort in the evening, man. What are your thoughts on this game? It is odd for me to feel confident, and that is causing me concern.
But I'm with you. So Rodney had a lot of scenarios, and I'm not going to go down the scenario train tracks because I just don't see it. Like there's just a few things I just point to immediately. Let's start with the Notre Dame side of things. I'm 39, you're 38. When was the last time in your lifetime that Notre Dame came out and beat inferior opponents the way they're supposed to?
Yeah.
Not in the same season, but consecutively.
Yep.
Back-to-back games.
Yep. Dude, you're right on it. Because since that second game, I've been thinking, am I feeling good about things just because the two opponents that it was and we blew them out or whatever? And then my mind switches to what you said, where I say, remember all the other times we started years with very beatable opponents? We had way more talent then, and we either lost or struggled and won, and it wasn't a sense of pride. It was relief that we didn't lose, and you still felt kind of embarrassed about how it looked. That's the difference. That how it feels, the game within the game. I just feel like it looks different now.
Exactly. Like I put on Twitter, and I think you saw it. It feels like we're actually ahead of the curve. Like every team gets better throughout the season. There's no question about that. But when you look at who else is on our schedule and what they're doing, and I know it's a one-game sample size and all that, but it just feels like we're ahead of the curve where we're going to continue to improve and gel, and it's going to be more fluid. But we're already ahead of these other teams that we have to play. So that puts us in a better spot, and I'm more optimistic. And I'm not trying to be shamrock-colored glasses, but the Notre Dame side of it just feels so much better. I mean, hell, when was the last time a backup quarterback went 8 of 11 for 133 and 2 scores without an injury putting him into the game? And not to mention, I heard this. People were talking about, well, it's Navy, it's just Tennessee State. It wasn't just Toledo, was it? It wasn't just Ball State or Vandy. But I heard this last year. Notre Dame with Drew Pine in practice had trouble scoring against nobody. So let's just be happy that we're scoring effing touchdowns, okay?
Yeah. I just think there's levels to this thing. And I was looking way beyond just us winning the first 2 weeks. I had a checklist of things inside the game that I was looking for. And I'm proud to admit I saw almost all of those things in both games. And that makes me happy. I just feel like we're ahead of wherever we've been. I feel like we're ahead of it. And you do not bring Sam Hartman in here to lose to NC State on the road. You don't. You just don't.
John, we've won 28 games in a row.
Join a
ACC
conference, you
opponents.
cowards. You're a coward. You're too scared. Join a conference. And then you go, well, we beat 28 ACC teams in a row. Join a real conference. That ain't the right one. That's the way it goes, dude.
Oh, I know, but what I'm saying is we've won 28 in a row with I will fight somebody outside my front door right now after what I'm about to say. We won 28 straight games with far less talent under the quarterback position than Sam Hartman.
Yeah.
It's not going to end with Sam Hartman. Come on.
Yeah. And
Come on.
You know what? I'm glad you said that it's not going to end with Sam Hartman. Here's what I want to bring up. My favorite part about this year, whatever else happens in it, the Sam Hartman experience is enlightening for a lot of Notre Dame fans. And the reason I say that is, especially for younger Notre Dame fans, people in college in their 20s or whatever, all they know in their life memory is Brian Kelly, Notre Dame. They have never actually seen Notre Dame operate with appropriate quarterback play. This year is going to recalibrate the bar of what should be expected in Notre Dame quarterbacks, which means don't be a midget and be able to throw it past 10 yards in the air. How about that?
Yeah, and the last time we had quarterback play that was exciting, we had no defense to pair it up with, and I feel
that is a very good point. Very good point by you, sir.
Yeah, and you look at the defense. Okay, yes, we had 3 games go over 30 points. Navy, I don't even want to discuss that one. Who knows what the hell just happened there? I'm talking about last year. And then it was the 2 pick sixes against South Carolina, which put them over 30, and USC, Caleb Williams, whatever. Our defense is not an issue. And people, Marshall, Stanford, if you're blaming that on the defense, you need to go watch some more football because that was not on the defense. So to bring my point back, we finally have the quarterback play to match what our defense has been able to do. And speaking of defense and offense, you look at North Carolina State, people are talking about, the upset potential and this and that. Yes, we have 1 game sample size North Carolina State. I know 2 things. I know one thing, Brendan Armstrong is their entire offense. I'm surprised he's not the leading receiver. He's a leading rusher, leading passer.
Yeah.
He's going to try to do it all.
Yep.
And he did it all at Virginia. And what did that get them? It got them to win the games they probably should have won, but any games against meaningful opponents, they lost. And I'm sorry, that's Notre Dame. So then you look at, NC State as a whole. All I'm going to say is this. UConn ran for 160 and 6.2 yards a carry. If you don't think our offensive line, Nardrick Estime and Jeremiah Love and Price can do that, then we have problems.
The pushback I've gotten using that line this week has been that number is skewed significantly because they had a 74-yard run early, and most of that yardage came in the early part of the game. And then after that, they didn't average that much. And if you take that long one out, they average, a little over 3 yards a carry. When I brought up what you brought up about the 6 yard per carry, that's the pushback I got. I don't know why. I have faith Notre Dame's going to handle this. I just do. And if I'm wrong, I am going to be the first one to come in here livid tomorrow after the game. I'll own it.
I just don't think you trip and stumble in the 160 yards rushing. That's just me.
Yeah. Hey, that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. Now, okay. Now, what about this? What if I said it was their first game? They had the rust. They were figuring out the run fits. Is there any credence to that? Because that would have been their first game.
Well, so that's where it comes into play that Notre Dame has looked so smooth and fluid and connected and together in their first 2 games that while that is true, we should be one step ahead in that preparation, in that ready to go-ness. That's not even a word, but
Yeah.
we're using it tonight.
No, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. No, that makes sense. Yeah. Hey, man, I just, so I don't know. I'm excited to see this tomorrow. It's the first physical test, and I expect Notre Dame to be able to handle it. And that's not based on the final score against two less than talented teams. It's based on what I've seen within that score. Notre Dame's checked the boxes I'm looking for, and I want to see where it goes from there.
Exactly. And the other thing I want to point out is everybody's pointing to Sam Hartman not just versus North Carolina State, but at North Carolina State, in Carter Finley Stadium, in Raleigh, and all that. First of all, it was Wake Forest. And if you look at the statistics, it just, the one game that, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. He also threw the ball 48 times because they ran for 17 yards and 0.7 yards a carry.
Yep.
If you think tomorrow Sam Hartman's throwing the ball 45 times, you're out of your mind, or 48 times, you're out of your mind. If you think we're running for 17 yards, you're out of your mind.
Yep.
So that itself eliminates why that game looked like it did. Then they're like, well, he lost the other game. Yeah, he lost 45-42. He put up 42 points on his end. Now we're blaming him for that. Was not to go way left field and off the exit ramp here, but Tony Romo got shit so many years for losing games for the Cowboys, but they would lose games like 51-48, 35-20. I'm like,
yeah.
Eventually, like, that's not on Sam Hartman. So those games they want to point to don't hold any credence to me whatsoever, because there were a lot of factors that just don't apply to this Notre Dame team. We're not giving up 45 points.
Yep.
We're not going to throw 40 times because we're not going to run for 17 yards.
Yep. That's how I see it too. Having a running game and an offensive line where you don't have to do everything makes all the difference. So, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm going to be very upset and disappointed, and I'm going to yell a lot on this show tomorrow, but that's just how I see it, man. Anything else for you? Anything else on your mind on the way out?
Yeah.
It's great catching up with you, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad the job's going well,
absolutely.
but I miss you, bro.
Thank you. And I do too. I'm going to be at the pit real quick. I have one last point, but I'm going to be at the pit game. If you're able to make it out there, I'll be at the pit game this year. The last little point is the weather. Previous caller kept saying it's going to be so hot. It's going to be this. It's going to be in the low to mid 80s with 60% chance of rain. I don't know how that's going to play out. It's going to be scattered and whatnot, but that's going to play into Notre Dame's favor, in my opinion, because I think we are more balanced than North Carolina State is. And that's going to come to fruition. Now, before I knew the weather, I felt like Notre Dame could win 41-20. I think the weather is going to slow down the game more than the new clock rules do. I think Notre Dame wins 34-17. That's where I'm going. So I just hope the weather doesn't become a major talking point like it did last time.
Yeah, no kidding. And if the weather does whip up like last time, a hurricane, then you're going to get 50 passes, because that's what we wanted to do last time in a hurricane. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Thank you, John, so much.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Glad the job's going well. By the way, lovely family you have. I like seeing your pictures on Twitter and your involvement with the kids and all that. And America can use a lot more of that. Good job on that fathering.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate you guys. Hey, go Irish.
Go Irish, man. Have a good one. Enjoy the ball game. Pat, people are saying we need to have a wine and cheese tray. We're going to have...
I know. We're getting picked on.
You got to have the wine and the cheese. Come on, man. That's hilarious.
I just want to know if you're actually bringing a...
I like people commenting about what my wife's drinking right now.
Yeah, the Mountain Dew. You got that hard Mountain Dew.
She does love the Mountain Dews.
Caffeine.
There's no caffeine or sugar in them.
So it's Mountain Dew, and then what's the liquor in it? Vodka? What is it?
Beer.
What?
It says it's a flavored beer.
It's like a malt beer. It's like a flavored malt. It's a flavored malt beer. It's all it is.
Interesting. Very interesting.
She's been hitting them hard lately.
707. What's going on, man?
Hey, good morning.
Is it morning already? Is it morning already? Speaking of morning, man, I'm kind of glad the game's at 11 a.m. my time, earlier for you if your phone number's accurate. You're in California. I kind of like the idea. I'm not going to have to stress out all day. unless it's a primetime night game. I don't mind that.
No, I love that about moving out here is the games are early so that you have the afternoon to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's dude, there is nothing better than Notre Dame getting a win and then you just chilling and watching everybody else and rooting against who you want to root against and all that. When Notre Dame's got that win in their pocket last weekend, man, that was fun. I love that.
I know, I love it. And then just in that same vein, it's going to be Notre Dame's going to win. I mean, it's just there's no need to worry about it. I think that they have superior coaching staff and they have superior offense and they have superior defense. So we're going to win this. I mean, I've been watching Notre Dame a long time, and you know, I've seen way too much to be worried about this game. I mean, everything's pointing to us just cruising. You know,
man, are we?
Course,
but dude, are we setting ourselves up to be kicked in the gut tomorrow? Are we buying into the first two, low-level opponents and what we did and getting our heads all big? I swear I've tried to do a good job of not doing that and looking for these markers in the game, regardless of the score, that make me feel good. I just think I've seen what I wanted to see, even accounting for the bad opponents. I feel like they've exceeded where I wanted them to be. I can't remember the last time I've ever said that. Never on this show. I would have been a little kid. They've took care of business.
Yeah.
They've done what you should do.
Well, the thing is, North Carolina State's going to win some battles. You know, they're a Power 5 school. They're an ACC school, and ACC is pretty damn good this year, especially the teams we're playing. I mean, we're not playing Florida State. We're not playing Miami, but the teams that we are playing, is a high quality.
You're right. You're right. Notre Dame, it's tricky. Louisville, Duke, NC State, you got Pitt. Those are tricky. You know, it isn't Syracuse, not Virginia Tech. Like those are some tricky games if you're not ready on your business.
Duke. And you got Duke, and they got Wake Forest, who wants to beat him. You know, Sam Hartman, he left their team.
Yeah.
So they're going to be, that's the real trap game.
Hey, can I ask you this? I want your opinion on this. Let me ask you this. I got 859 next, 360 after that. Let me ask you, how much has your opinion of Duke changed after the Clemson game? Or has it not? Or is it more? Your opinion on Clemson's changed, but your opinion on Duke is the same? Like, how do you look at that? Because the circumstances have changed now. Now, Duke's undefeated, and Clemson, that we talked about all summer, isn't. And Duke comes up right after Ohio State. What do you make of how that all sorted out?
Brutal. It's a hell of a good question. I mean, Duke proved that they were a very good team, and Clemson didn't have their normal game, and maybe it's early in the season, and so you look at that, it's their first game of the year, right? So, they're going to pull it together because Dabo's still a good coach, and no matter what the SEC people or Big Ten people, they love to jump on you when you're, jump on your neck when you're down, but they're, Clemson's going to respond. That's game one of 12 games. So I'm thinking they're going to have one loss by the time they play Notre Dame. That's a wake up call for them, and they'll respond. And Duke should have gone way up higher. I think Duke's only ranked 20, between 20 and 25. They're up there, and they're so much better than that. I mean, it's crazy the ranking.
Hey,
so
you know
far.
what made me lose my mind? I put a short out on it in the coaches poll. Duke beats Clemson, and the coaches have Clemson 3 spots ahead of Duke in the poll. Man, that is the stuff that makes fans lose their minds. Why even play any games if the result isn't going to matter in the rankings? Right. I just can't.
I know.
Man, that pisses me off. And it makes me glad we're going to a 12-team format because there's more leeway for them idiots to make decisions and for the right teams to end up in it anyways.
Yeah, they're full of it. They don't. It's all political. Like they want, they want what's best for those voters. Whoever the coach is voting based on whatever's going to be helpful to them, individually.
Yeah.
So I've taken that coach's poll with a grain of salt for a long time, and I don't put any merit to it. UPI they used to have, and they were pretty good because they were writers from all over, and they were pretty balanced in their reporting. But the coaches poll has always been full of it. So until we get this committee that votes now, I think they're doing their best to be impartial, and I think that'll be a truer tale of what's going on.
Yeah.
But in terms of the game coming up tomorrow, the point I called to try and make is to I'm totally with Notre Dame winning, and the thing I'm worried about, there's only one thing, and that's that quarterback's ability to run. So
Yeah.
if he had 90 yards last week, I think that's what they're going to go with their strength right off the bat. I think they're going to do a lot of trying to get Notre Dame off guard with their running game, with the quarterback running it. So they might have a lot of little deceit plays, but he's going to be, pulling it down and looking for holes. I think that he's a bona fide running quarterback. So,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that concerns me. And that's where they're going to have some victories. And that's where the defensive line, without Rubio, it's going to be a bummer because
Yeah.
he and Cross work very, very well together. But,
Yeah. Let me ask
now
you
we
this.
have Mills.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What's your concern level? I have had multiple analysts in the Notre Dame media sphere that have been around a long time, and I've watched them or read them this week, and they say this secondary is probably the best Notre Dame will face all year. Are you concerned that our wide receivers that are still trying to cement themselves into being reliable staples of the offense, do you have any concern about our receivers against that secondary, or do you think Notre Dame will overcome it with the run game and the tight ends anyways?
I think Notre Dame's got to take advantage of the length of their players at wide receiver. And if they do that, I would send Tobias. I'm thinking he's going to probably finally show up, and I'm expecting to get some pretty good yards. But I'd send him every time he's in. I'd send him deep just to open him up and let him see some victory. Just let him run. Everyone talks about his talent and quickness. I mean, that's what I want to see from him. It's time now for him and give him a chance to make that time, to make that successful. So that's what I would do. I would send him deep and try and, have Hartman, look for him. So
yeah,
that's one of the things I would.
Let me ask you this. Do you put any stock into the Notre Dame haters this week that are saying, look at Hartman's record against NC State? They own him.
No.
He's thrown 6 interceptions the last 2 years against this team, and this defense has him figured out. Do you put credence into that, or is this a different ball game because that was Wake and this is ND?
Well, that's where we're going to also get to see what our offensive coordinator's medal is, Let's see what he can do against teams that are good back there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's so good about them? Are they stopping quarterbacks from getting 250 yards, or they getting turnovers? What are we worried about with them?
I mean, I just hear that both those corners are going to be NFL guys, and it's just a pretty good, situation back there. And I don't know why, but all week I felt like Notre Dame just is so well-rounded and better that a B+ game, they win by 10 points. They don't even have to have an A game, and I think they could win by 10. And if I'm wrong, then everybody nail me tomorrow, and I'll come on here all pissed off.
Well, I think my more concern is the defensive line with that running quarterback. I think if they hold their lanes, and I'm worried about Kaiser, and I'm glad he didn't get many snaps last week. And I think Golden's seeing that he runs into a pile without looking for the ball, and there's nothing that drives me crazier than seeing a linebacker with his head down, because the whole point is you got to look for the ball. You got to watch. You got to keep your head up. And I don't see that with him. So if they're going to send him, I would like maybe to do some stunts and take advantage of his speed because he is fast. But I would like to see that kind of a, maybe have a defensive end cut down and try and take out two guys running inside, and then have Kaiser go around the outside and try and beat him with speed because he needs to see the thing to be effective. And I don't think he does that when he's playing in the middle. And I like the way Snead plays in the middle. Like Golden was using Snead on the outside, on the inside, both sides on the inside, both outside. Like,
Wait a second. I feel like I've heard that before. We're going inside him. We're going outside. We're going inside and outside. We're going outside him. That's where they're putting Snead, baby.
And we'll get him on the run. We're going to keep him on the run.
That's Al Golden.
I like it.
Yeah, that's right. And we're going to hit him.
Yeah, I like it, man. And that's, man, I keep coming back to the markers I was looking for. The checklist I had in my hand watching the first two games went deeper than, does Notre Dame win, yes or no? I had a checklist of things I was looking for that matter to me. For the most part, they're getting really high grades in all those areas. That is a different feel. That is a feeling I've never had under Kelly. I never, ever had it under Kelly. I never had it where I just felt like we had a stretch of games where we played to our potential and did what we were supposed to do by the extent we were supposed to do it multiple weeks in a row. I never had it in over a decade, and I've got it this year, and I like it, damn it.
Yeah, Kelly, he didn't know how to motivate, like his thing was to be professional. When he first came to us, we really needed him because, I liked Charlie Weiss a lot, but he was only good. Like you found out in time that he's really only good with the quarterback. Like he's a good offensive genius, and his quarterbacks excelled, and he got good quarterbacks, but they didn't perform for him because the rest of the team sucked because he didn't give a shit about defense.
Hey, you brought up something about Kelly being polished and professional and all this. I don't know if you guys saw this. In his press conference last week leading up to the game, a reporter broke a chair, like was sitting in the chair and it broke and made a big noise and he fell. And Kelly stopped the press conference. It was like, he said something like, oh, is that chair not sturdy enough? Like something, he brought it up that this reporter, the chair literally broke into pieces. And Kelly was joking about billing him for the chair and shit. I'm sorry, man. I just can't get enough with that guy. It was a riot. You could hear the chair splitting and breaking. And then sure enough, Kelly's like, oh, we're going to have to bill you for that one, fat ass. Like, it was just hilarious. It was just funny to me. All right, I digress. Okay, I'm having too much fun with Kelly. I'll rein it in. Rein it in.
It's so fun I'm telling you, I'm enjoying every bit of what you did with Kelly. Your Twitter account, I downloaded it, listened to you on your.
Wait a second! Whoa! You're on Twitter?
What?
You're on Twitter?
No.
Oh,
I am not. I don't have any of that.
I thought you said you were on Twitter. You mean you saw what I was doing on Twitter on that episode? That's what you mean.
Exactly.
Okay,
you download those. I'm able to get that as a download into my phone. So
okay.
I always listen to your shorts because this one was exceptional.
I wanted to make sure you weren't on Twitter under some alias. That's what I wanted to make sure of.
No.
Hey, man.
It's Joe Long.
There you go. Anything else on your mind? I'm excited for tomorrow. And if we're wrong, I'm coming into the post game and you could all rip me. I don't care. I feel good, damn it.
Yeah, I know. I think it's. I like that I'm going to get to see Notre Dame in their white uniforms because they always look faster when they're in their whites. They always seem like they're big and slow when I watch them in the blues. But most Notre Dame fans love the blue.
Yeah.
But for me, I like the other. I like the whites.
There you go. Hey, I'll take a good road win, baby. Give me them road whites. I need these guys to come out fast and physical. That's what I need. Joe, enjoy the game. Is it
And I'm
really
hearing a
at
lot of
9
people-
a.m.?
I'm hearing-
Wait, is this game really at 9 a.m. your time?
Yeah.
Oh,
And it's
man,
good. I like
that
it.
is beautiful. You wake up and you don't even have time to get that stress. The game will be there. That is amazing.
I know, and I have about 6 games in the queue to tape, so I like to watch it all because I'm just a freak on college football. I'm just a freak
noticed.
for Notre Dame.
I've noticed, buddy.
Yeah.
No offense. To my benefit, I've noticed. I appreciate you. I do.
Yeah, thanks. I enjoy it too. I enjoy talking with you. And I'll tell you one thing, that guy Nathan, I wouldn't hesitate to put him on your show every week because he's really good at he gets it, you know?
Yeah, Nathan
That caller you had.
has done professional recruiting work for Notre Dame, reporting. Like he has worked for some of these outlets doing recruiting and stuff. His full-time job, I believe he works for the minor league baseball team out in Vegas. But he has been a recruiting beat guy before for Notre Dame. And so that's why
he's probably watching.
Yeah,
he's probably watching Bishop. He's probably watching Bishop Gorman right now, the high school team.
Yeah, he
against
does.
Centennial. That's a good game right now. In fact, I'm taping it.
Yeah, Nathan, he dives into recruiting way more than I ever could have the patience to want to. But that guy knows he knows his talent. So, but hey, man, I want you to enjoy the game tomorrow, and then I want you to call me after and let me know what you think of it.
All right. Sounds like a good plan.
Have a good one, man. Sleep good. It'll be here before
Thanks.
you know it, buddy. It'll be you wake up, have a coffee or a Jameson, and there it is. It'll be there for you. Have a good one, man.
All right. Go Irish.
Yeah.
God bless all.
Oh, yeah. God bless all, as long as you like Notre Dame. Pat, you're sitting there looking like you're looking at some. What are you watching the game? What's the score? What do we got?
No, I'm buying cigars. I bid on cigars, so I'm watching this bid right now, so I could.
Are you on eBay bidding on cigars?
No, it's called Cigar Bid.
That's hilarious.
And that's where I get. I mean, I could show you guys if you want.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I'm just bidding on cigars right now.
859, you're on the line. What's up?
How you doing, John?
Listen, I feel good about the game, and that is making me uncomfortable. But I feel like this Notre Dame team looks and feels a little different to me this year, and it's giving me confidence. And I am not used to that, and it's making me feel very awkward. Am I off base, or am I getting back to what it should feel like to be a Notre Dame fan?
You're right. One's the one reason why. We have a QB. Never had that in previous years under Mr. Lazy Narcissist.
Yeah.
So that's why you're confident. But the question I have for you guys, do we have an isolated weather report? Because I don't need another nightmare with a monsoon. I've heard predicted rain. Do we know what the game time weather is going to be?
What my understanding is scattered thunderstorms. Some may be severe off and on in that humidity. I
hope not.
Yeah, well, it's
that, right,
wait,
John?
dude, you're talking about not wanting to be in a hurricane. I'm thinking about I don't want to be in a USF situation again. That's what I'm thinking
That's the one
about.
I was thinking of.
Yeah,
John. That's
yeah.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it's
Where
an
the game
8
started
hour.
at 2:30.
Yeah.
You can get over to 10, and we went through 2 cases of beer for God's sake.
Yeah.
I don't need that. I'm old.
Telling you,
But
man.
I think this team is special because you look at the lines, you look at the quarterback, we've got the talent to do it. What scares me is, even if you look at 88, because I lived every game, was at every game, you're going to have 1 to 2 flat games. The games in 88 were Navy and Pitt. Navy was a chain link away from getting a key first down that might have given them the game. What I'm scared of, tomorrow set the tone. If we're as legit as I think we are, we roll tomorrow. I'll say 35-14. But the game that's going to scare me, we roll. And by the way, if we lose that week after, you're not allowed to have a tailgater anymore. You're supposed to laugh.
Nope.
If we lose that next week,
Nope.
for God's sakes.
Nope. No.
Okay.
I am already freaked out about this. If they lose, especially if they beat NC State and we're trending up to Ohio State, John comes into town promoting this huge party and they lay an egg on my situation. I'm never showing up again. Bad luck. That'll be the end of it.
You'll love this.
That'll be the end of it.
Tailgate.
What, Pat?
post-game tailgate will be
going to that
entertaining.
game. He's gone to Ball State and Marshall because he likes to travel when it's warm, and he's going to that game. I told him he's had a rough offseason. You're not allowed to go back to campus either.
Nope.
And he picks it because his family likes to travel during that, and it's an easy thing. I think, and he's lived through two of this. Because let's face it, the game it's not Marshall. That was last year's loss, but the one loss, all the guy had to do was take the knee. It's forget my mind, and they would have won the game.
Northwestern, 2014 Northwestern at home on senior day.
That's where Kelly couldn't do math. I think it was Ball State.
Yeah, the
where the guy could have just ran out of bounds, and they kicked the field goal, and we drove down the field against another weak team. I think it was Ball State. I think it was.
Was that
but
Toledo?
Neither here nor on that.
Adam saying Toledo. Might have been
Toledo.
Toledo.
Yeah,
it was
Toledo.
Toledo. Yeah, okay.
It was Toledo.
Yeah.
It was Toledo. Okay. We roll that. I think what I've seen had Ohio State on, I think we've got enough talent. We'll be jacked up. Freeman will have them ready. We get that. Here comes the problem. Now, Duke's not a world beater. Let's not lose our minds here. Clemson's going to play the perfect game. They're not going to turn the ball over twice inside the 5-yard line and have two kicks, miss one and get one blocked. And you know they're going to want blood after what last year is. I've called this. I think this team is very good, but I think they're going to stumble and have one loss. And the loss that scares me is that Clemson game. If we don't choke anywhere else, which I don't think we will.
Well, wait a second. Wait. Wait a second. How in the hell did we just jump from NC State and you already bypassed Ohio State, USC, and we're getting to Clemson? How'd you do that? Huh?
I have us win Ohio State, and you know the game I skipped on purpose. Because
I'm putting you on the record, baby. Mad. You're going on the record on this one. I like it.
I'm going 11-1. Because you know damn well, if I lose one of those 11 games, then you know which one I cannot lose.
Yeah.
Because they'll put me in an institution.
Yeah, I know. Yep.
I don't want to hear anybody say they're an ND fan. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. But you guys will love this. I saw this popped up last night. It's a YouTube game day experience. And it's like, it's a girl's perspective. You got to understand when I went there weren't women there. And they take them getting ready for the game and getting all fancy and jacked out and stuff.
I saw it, dude. That popped up. It popped up on my YouTube.
I lost my mind.
It popped up on my YouTube.
I lost my mind because they didn't give a damn if we wanted to. And yes,
I know.
They were all smoking hot. They were all smoking hot, and they would have had all four. They would have had every guy around them because the ratio there was we had 10% women. For the love of God, that's why we drank beer and gave a damn if we won.
Yeah.
And
so wait,
if today's age.
So your theory, wait a second. Your theory is that we decided to let girls join on campus and it ruined our focus. Is that the theory we're going with? I like it. We're distracted. Men only. Football only. No girls. Football.
No, I didn't say that. I did not say that. I'm just saying the girls did not look like that. The girls, when I was there, did not dress like that, John. They were not wearing cut-off bisection jean shorts and the cut-off shorts. They didn't dress like that. They did.
I also saw this.
Dude, you got me thinking that you're like some colonial Little House on the Prairie guy, and they're all like wrapped up.
Oh, it's been over 30, John. It's been over 30 years.
Yeah.
We might as well be on the prairie.
Yeah, that's funny, man. Dude, you're cracking me up. John. You're cracking me up.
When I came in, our bad period was 5 years of Jerry Pfaff before the bad stretch in the late 50s and the 60s after Leahy died.
Yeah.
Now, in your current generation, we don't know what it is. It's been 30 plus years. We don't know. And here's the other thing. Because they had to be the Ivy League school in the Midwest, the student body doesn't give a damn. They don't make a focus of their life. This guy's saying, I got other things to do. I don't care what time the game is. Unless you have a family. I get if you have a family and have kids, I get that. They're your number one priority. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, it's the number one focus of your day. How the hell can it be?
Yeah, I know, man. But you got to realize, man, not everybody's wired the way we are. You got to realize that. I have gotten to know you calling this show a lot in the last year. We are wired a little different than most normal people.
I have a friend that would do a psychiatrist. Hey, John, you're a psychiatrist, I believe, by trade. You could do a chapter on me. I'm a nut job.
Yeah, but you're my
People's moods
kind of
should not
nut
be
job.
influenced what 18 to 22-year-old kids do.
I know. That part does freak
But it
me
is.
out. It does. You know what gets me with that, man, is the recruiting. I am embarrassed at 38. Dude, I am embarrassed at 38 years old that a 17-year-old's decision can affect my day to that extent. It is pathetic. But if you're a diehard fan of any team, you're going to get it.
As I say, I love all my children equally. Could you imagine doing it with every sports program?
Yeah. It's just, I know it's rough, man.
But our three big ones are all in good hands. I honestly think we're going to win some titles before God calls me home. I'm hoping Freeman gets it done. I really do. I think but here's the people. This year's even more urgent where it's amped up. We only got to win 2 this year to get it done if we get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And next year's we got to win 4. And that's what scares me, as we've talked about. Unless you have the elite quarterback, I don't know if we can build enough depth, or we got to water down the schedule. With all this, I'd really love the Big Ten to say, hey, you can't play Notre Dame anymore.
Now, wait a second. No, wait. Wait a second. You're saying that we might need to water down the schedule when you get into this 12-game play, because when you get into a 12-game playoff, a 12-team playoff, your margin for error is bigger. Notre Dame doesn't have to be undefeated or 11-1 to make the playoff. Does that not alleviate some of that stress?
No, but why beat your team up? Let's play. Hey, pull up LSU's schedule, pull up Georgia's schedule, pull up Alabama's schedule. They have 2 legit games amongst them. Florida State, everybody wants to kill Kelly. That little liberal, lazy blankety blank is going to get the 10 wins. No doubt in my mind.
I got to give you a half credit. You still went with the politics, but at least you left the F word out this week. I'll give you credit on that.
I haven't used that one.
Yeah, I'll give you credit.
I've not used that one.
Yeah, I'll give you 1 out of 2 on that one. You left the F word out. Okay.
I'll do you a favor, not call in after we lose. If we lose, I can't call in. You can ban me. Don't pick up the phone. If we lose, because the first loss is everybody knows my family, because that kicks you out.
Yeah.
Once the title could go out the door, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I got one more. My class cannot be the last one.
Yeah. No, you're right, man. And
it can't be.
I know. And we've talked before. About the danger of my generation. The group that is the last one that hasn't seen a championship in person. And how dangerous it is if you don't bridge that gap with elite success from my dad's group that saw all that to me who hasn't. And then I have kids. If you have a gap where they don't see anything elite, you got real problems overall. Like if you can't pass that winning down, and we're about at that point. I like what you're saying though, man. And I like your energy. You are a nut job in a similar way I am, and I love you for it, my friend.
I got one last point to you. Remember how Lou Holtz used to give it? I don't know if you guys heard about it because you're too young. But to travel to USC, you had to pass a quiz. You had to, about the history of Notre Dame. I don't know how many questions it was.
Yeah.
And you had to, I don't know what you
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, if I came up with a basic, to all ND students right there, right now, if I came up with a 50 question thing where they couldn't Google it, couldn't look up their fans, unless they had a dad that went there, could not pass a basic quiz I gave them on the Notre Dame history. Because, as I said, they don't care. And that's the biggest thing that drives me nuts. Because what did they want to be? They want to forget religion. They want to forget football indirectly until the bottom line gets a little affected. Why do you think Swarbrick sold us out and said, oh, it's okay. Even if we have the best team in the record, we'll just take the 5th seed. Why? We get an extra game at home and we generate money. It wasn't about winning a national title. You can't convince me that they truly want to win that. Because I told you, the other thing, you've got the money. Buy a damn airplane.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, I love some of the stuff that you get mad about. It's so specific. Like some of the things that you get mad about are so specific that it warms my little Irish
soul. Because I care,
soul.
John.
I know. I love it. But the stuff that triggers in your brain sometimes is like, I just love some of the random stuff that sticks with you over the years. Let me ask you this on the way out. What's your prediction tomorrow?
Good.
Give me the number. Is it 35-17? What do you got?
Assuming we have good weather, so I'm putting a caveat there. I'll go 35-14.
And if
Or
that was
17 if they get a field goal or something.
Hey, if that was the case, beautiful. And then you go into the Always Irish tailgate game tomorrow, the next week, and then we crank it up for World War III against Ohio State because the build-up of that.
You know I got to win. I'm 200 miles.
Oh,
Hell no.
the
I've got
build-up
a
of
friend that's
that.
at my house. So I think I feed him like twice a month. No, he's getting banned. And then I got another friend that went to Louisville, and I can't deal with it. He doesn't get into football, but he's getting banned too. I can't handle. No,
I like it.
And
man.
at least I don't have any USC friends. Thank God.
I like it a
That was
lot.
the other one. My best friend from Notre Dame. We were each other's best man. It set the kid to North Carolina State, and he's got North Carolina State in the stuff. This tells you how sick I am, John. Parents' weekend when I was at Notre Dame my freshman year, we played Army, and he was a spouse. Bad. Army was ranked, and he and I almost got into fisticuffs because he wore an Army jacket into the student body section. I said, if you want to get Army, get Army. What are you wearing? I got really mad. I told him, if you don't, you get that North Carolina State out your house, or I'm not going to talk to you for a month if we lose.
Man, I'm telling you what.
And you think I'm joking?
I'm telling you what. You are by far one of my favorite people that call this show because you are at that level of psychotic with this stuff that I'm at, and I really, really love it, man. I appreciate it. Why don't you have a couple drinks tonight, sleep in tomorrow, get up.
And I was good. No cuss words. No cuss words. Cuss words. Now, I'll be a good boy. I will take my phone away from him, which people threatened in the past. When Andy loses, you don't want to be around me. Trust me. You do not want to be around me.
I trust
because
you.
I'm a nut job. I don't know.
I trust you. You know why I trust you? Because I am ya. That's why. I trust you, man, buddy. I believe you. I want you to
love you guys both.
Hey, have a big drink, sleep in tonight, and sleep in tomorrow, and wake up in the game.
Tomorrow. I want to call tomorrow when we got, like you said, John, just get the damn win. I don't care how we get out of it. Just get it and move on to the next week. And God love us. We can't blow that. Or you can't host anything on campus anymore. You're shut down for 5 years.
No, I'm done. No. If they beat NC State and the path to Ohio State's crystal clear other than Central, and I show up and have this big party and they blow it, that's it. Never having another Always Irish tailgate. I don't know how I can. I don't know how I could. I would feel like it's my fault. I couldn't do it. I wouldn't feel right. It ruined that whole thing. I've
got one question for you, and I'll let you go. I appreciate you giving me the time, John. Does it, and I know you would take it hard, and you got family support, and I get all that, and I support all that. Does it help you if you think ND loses in your rating, and your bottom line, if ND would lose? Not that I think you'd ever sell that.
100% yes. 100.
God, that's sad. I don't know. God love you. I couldn't do that.
100% yes. Anytime in the 6 years I've had this show, anything bad happens with Notre Dame, my ratings are way higher than when anything good happens. That's just the way
you make more money.
That's just the way it is in this game, man. That's the way it is in this game. Anytime.
How do you balance that?
Here's how you balance it. If Notre Dame does good and good things are happening, I am happy. And if bad things happen, I am miserable, but the brand does good and I make more money. That's how I rationalize it.
Okay.
That's it.
Well, you guys have a great night. For the love of God, go Irish, and let's get a title. Because you know what? Well, I don't care. I'll fly into Chicago or I'll have you down to my house. I've described my business. If we win this title, we are going to get together and meet.
Oh, if we do that,
we've got to get a title.
Oh, we're doing that for sure, buddy. I already thought about it. If Notre Dame wins a championship, I'm having an Always Irish celebration party. We're doing something. Don't worry about that. I got that under control. Have a good one, buddy. Relax tonight. Relax.
Your time. You guys take care and God bless.
Have a good one.
Take care.
Man, that guy, he is always wound so tight, Pat. I love that. I love it. He's wound tight.
It's just entertaining. That's what you can just sit and listen. You don't have to say anything.
He just goes. Nick Shepkowski, my boss at USA Today Fighting Irish Wire, by the way, says help short term hurts long term. And the reason that his opinion is very interesting is not only is he the managing editor of USA Today Fighting Irish Wire, he spent almost 20 years at 670 The Score, the biggest AM radio station in Chicago. So he knows what that's like. If some bad happens to the Bears, you do big numbers reacting to it. But if the Bears are bad overall, everything's weighed down in the big picture.
Right. They lose
Yeah,
interest.
that's kind of
People
how it
lose
works.
interest long term.
Yeah,
In
exactly.
college football, one loss for Notre Dame is detrimental to the whole season.
Yeah, yep, it is. And that is why I'm in a very good mood now because, Pat, look where we were at after 2 regular season games last year. The vibe's a little different.
Yeah,
What's on the table's a little different.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. It's amazing. It's amazing what winning does. It's such a fantastic feeling.
Hey, there's no substitute for winning, Pat. It is the ultimate deodorant for everything that ails you. There is no substitute for winning ever in football. It is just beautiful.
I agree.
360. Where do you want to go?
360. What do you know?
Ooh, I like that one too. That's a good one, buddy. Hey,
every time, that's me.
I like that. I want to welcome you to the program, and I want to ask your thoughts about NC State. I feel good, and it's making me feel bad.
Well, 360 already called 12-0, so here I am back.
So you're locked in that. So then you're locked in that. If it's 12-0, you're locked in, bud.
I'm locked in. It's a natty.
Come on. Come on, man. I feel.
Oh, yeah. No.
Dude.
Let me just start with my points.
Go ahead. I'll let you go. But that's a bold claim. Listen, I'm bullish on Notre Dame this year. I love the quarterback dynamic. I see more talent, but you're getting a little far with this. You're going to have to extrapolate this.
No.
Give me the roadmap. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, here it is. These were first week notes I didn't get through because Notre Dame fans are awesome, and the last few callers were amazing. But I had first 2 drives has both had adversity, and they ended up touchdowns. When was that ever in a Kelly opening 2 games? Never.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Now I'm going to go to that number 12. Doesn't he have a little Ricky in him? Yes, he does. A little Ricky. And I love that he studied the game to say, who was that number 12 that played for Lou Holtz? Oh, he was a shifty guy, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Okay. And the defense, no touchdowns. Okay. Do you say more? No touchdowns. I don't care who you played in the game. When you don't score a touchdown ever, come on. Okay. Now, ACC, you guys are all whining and complaining. We beat you without a quarterback.
Somebody just wrote in. Craig wrote in. I love you, Craig. I'll see you in a week. Craig wrote in. John doesn't even remember Ricky. John remembers Ricky from the old. I remember Ricky from my dad's VHS highlight tapes. All right. And then when YouTube started, I got Ricky in vintage. Okay. Give me a break.
Hey, John, I'm a Michael John. Okay. And I've had cardiac arrest, died 3 times. I'm still here. The Lord's got me.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Now, the ACC says, all this, but we beat them without a quarterback, and now we got your best quarterback on our team. Oh, there's nothing there, ACC. Okay, that's okay. You lose. Now, I want to turn to a couple of little things here. Everybody is high on Snead, and I watched that last game a couple times. And 23, that kid from LSU, right, the high school right in LSU, he looks like a real linebacker. Snead still lost a little, but I love him. This next game, we're going to really see our defense. No more messing around with Luafau. You know, I love him. Glad he's healthy. But Kaiser, Bertrand are going to take over, set the tone. Our corners are going to say Armstrong. No way. And this is my last thing right here. The ACC, the way you treated Sam Hartman the last couple of years, 3 years, we are going to treat all your quarterbacks like that. And Sam is going to have a Heisman type season.
Hey, man, I like what you're drawing out. I like the roadmap. Let me ask you this. If anything concerns you tomorrow, what would it be for Notre Dame? What would concern you the most about this matchup as a Notre Dame fan? Give it to me. There's got to be something. Give it to me.
I don't have any concern. I'm calling 49-9.
What about them? Let me just give you a scenario and see how you react.
Okay.
What about all of the media telling me all week this is the best secondary Notre Dame's going to face, and we don't exactly have a experienced, proven, reliable group of wide receivers? Is that a concern to you at all tomorrow, or do you feel like Notre Dame will be able to overcome it with Hartman, a running game, the tight ends, and blending it all together? We're not concerned there?
We will overcome it, and the national media will be like, oh, well, I guess we can't ignore Notre Dame now.
Yeah. Hey.
I don't have no problems. I think the offense has used every weapon, and Hartman has spread the ball around so much, and they put so much on tape that now they're going to put a little bit on tape for Ohio State to worry about. But I'm telling you, it's a 12-0 natty this year. If not, Jesus comes back and raptures us, and it don't matter.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, hey, it all works out.
Now wait, let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you always enter Notre Dame games with this level of confidence, or is this specific to what you've seen this year, the development for Freeman, seeing the depth of the team and the rotations be bigger? Or are you always Notre Dame's going to win every game, or there's specific things here, indicators in the first 2 weeks that are leading you here? I'm just trying to get an idea where you're coming from.
Okay. I can tell you right now. I moved to Hawaii, Maui, for a lady, which was an abusive relationship. Okay? Ever since then, I can sense abusive relationships. And Kelly was an abusive relationship the whole time.
I had a feeling that was coming. I don't know why. I had a feeling it was going to lead us down that road, brother. I had a feeling.
I mean, does it not all feel right? I have not seen Notre Dame play like this since Lou Holtz was on the sidelines. Okay. And I have seen LSU before, and it was Notre Dame over and over again. And I'm so happy. I'm like rejuvenated. I'm not in that relationship anymore. I'm in a new relationship with a loving, kind coach who loves his players and affirms them. Not, my best. Here's it. You can find this if you watch a lot of Notre Dame old games. My favorite thing is Nick Martin coming off the field, getting berated by Brian Kelly, red-faced, and Nick Martin turns away from him on the sideline on NBC and says, "Fuck you." I love that. I watched that so many times over, and I'm just like, yeah, Nick Martin. Yeah.
Oh, my God,
Guess who's my starting center on NFL Madden? Guess who's my starting center?
Oh,
Nick Martin.
Man, I'm
Because he's a
telling you,
badass.
I love this show so much. You have no idea where it's going to go. You just have no idea where it's going to go, man. Give me a prediction tomorrow. What's your
I
prediction?
love you, Josh.
Give me a real prediction tomorrow. Not you being wild. Give me a real world prediction. Give it.
I'm serious. 49-9.
Wow.
That is it.
All right.
We're going to crush them, and the rest of the world will see just what Hartman can do with. I mean, literally, we dominated the ACC without a quarterback. We just took the ACC's best quarterback and put him in our offense.
Yeah, hey, that's a good point. That's a really good point, actually. No, that's factual. You're absolutely right about that.
Yeah.
And Notre Dame's 28-0 in the last 28 ACC regular season games we played. You're right about that. You're right, buddy. You're on one right now, but you're right about that fact.
360. What do you know?
Dude, I love this stupid show so much. I love this show, man. Dude, you were on one.
I love you, and I love all the callers. It is so fun. This is the funnest show right here.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I view my role here as being a man of the people, a conduit. I want to be a conduit between the Notre Dame fans at large and the internet. Buddy, this was a riot. You need to call more.
Awesome.
You need to call more. How about that?
I will try. I'll try.
All right, man. Hey, this was a riot,
right,
dude. You're hilarious. Have a good one, man. This was a good. Yeah,
All right. Take care.
You're cracking me up. Have a good night.
You crack me up, man.
Well, that's
awesome.
That's the idea, man. I just do my thing.
Can I say one thing?
Yeah.
2 callers before
was
a great caller, and he's a salesman. I have tried to be a salesman. That's the hardest damn job there is. So go him, and good luck for that kid. Go get him.
Yeah. It isn't for everybody, that life. And I know he's worked hard, and
it's hard.
Yeah. You got to be you got to have you're cut from a different cloth if you do that kind of sales, and you got to approach people and ask for things and have that confidence. It's a tough job. Yeah, for sure.
It's hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I was a heavy equipment operator. So, hey, just get me in a big bulldozer and tell me to push some dirt. I'm good.
There you go, man. Hey, I want you to enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the game tomorrow, and then give me a call out on the post game if you want. How about that?
I'll probably be too drunk, but I'll try to get in.
You know what I'm going to tell you, man? Pretty good self-awareness level. I like your self-awareness level there. That's very mature, you. Good job.
Let me make some notes, and we'll see.
All right. Have a good one, man. This was a riot. Thank you. Have a good one. See ya.
All right.
Oh, man. Dude, you never know what you're going to get. You never know what you are going to get when it's always Irish After Dark. So, all right.
Yeah, John. That call was a roller coaster of stuff, man. It was a roller coaster.
I didn't even get far enough to ask if his house was burned down, and he's calling from the ocean somewhere. He said he was in Maui. Pat, we went 2.5 hours, and I got a couple things I need to do before the end of the night, and then into tomorrow. So that's going to be it. We do have some more callers. 2.5 hours, and if you want to call tomorrow, feel free. Anything else you want to end on, Pat, tonight? I feel like we've been all over the block here. I want to make sure you have a say here.
No, and because I'm not going to be on tomorrow night because of what I got going on tomorrow. So I think everyone should enjoy this game tomorrow. I do think this is a different football team. It has a different mindset, and the reason it has a different mindset is because it has a different leader. And probably this is probably the biggest test for Parker. We haven't talked about that. For his actual play calling, where you have to outthink a defensive coordinator. I don't think he really had to do that yet.
Yeah.
So it should be that's probably the biggest takeaway I have from the game. I think it's Notre Dame 42, North Carolina State 6.
Yeah, there you go. I think I had, geez, it was just yesterday. I put the prediction in the USA Today. I think it was like 35, 38, 17, somewhere in that ballpark. I'll give them scoring a couple. I just think Notre Dame wears them down, and the physicality and all that. I agree with you. It feels different. They've exceeded the markers I was looking for beyond just the scoreboard early on. The quarterback makes a difference. Although, Pat, I got a big feeling if I'm not happy in the post-game show, even if we win, I'm going to be complaining about the lines. I got a feeling that if things are stressful, even if we win, I'm going to be mad at the lines. Maybe one, maybe both, but I'm going to be mad.
Yeah, I think you'll be. If it's a closer game, I think you'll be mad at the linebackers. I think that's where the criticism will come in at. The defensive line is still my biggest question mark, because that is the one part. We've seen the offensive line push people around. I didn't watch the HBCU game, but from what I was told by you and others, I don't take some of that sloppiness as a reflection of what their actual play is. I think it's more of they weren't up for that game because of who they were playing. So I think you'll see more of what we saw against Navy from the offensive line.
Pat, what you just brought up proves my point this week. What you just brought up was Marshall, right? Like brought up is Marshall, a game where it's like you're not up for it. What are you going to do? Are you going to dick around? Are you going to blow them out when you're not up for it?
Not
you
quite,
got something going when you don't even give a shit and you blow them out. Then you got something going.
Yeah, not quite Marshall, but I get your point, because this team last year, does the Marshall game happen is the question, right? I don't think so.
Sam
and the biggest thing is your quarterback
alone prevents that from even being a thing.
I would agree. His ability just to get the ball down the field completely changes the Marshall game. I would agree with you with that. I'm not going to say it's kind of the same, but I get your point. This team does not lose to Marshall last year. This team does not lose to Stanford last year. Yeah. And I think this team does not lose to NC State. And I think the offense continues. I am really hoping for a really good play calling sequence from Parker. I think he makes the difference. I think his play calling makes a difference. And I think they just keep the ball away from NC State. They tackle. I'm banking on the linebackers. I'm saying 42-6. So I am saying that Notre Dame's defense is going to contain this quarterback. And the only way that this defense can contain this quarterback is by the linebacker stepping up and keeping him from getting loose. Yep. He'll get loose a little bit, but the linebackers, they really have to play well and keep this guy.
And you know what else I'm looking for with that? That defensive line. I want to see them making sure they contain that guy on the edges. Contain him. Don't have that over pursuit. You're behind the play,
right?
And then an idiot runs around, and then it's a 14-yard gain, and John wants to punch everybody.
Right. This is not a pin your ears back and get after the quarterback game. This is a contain your quarterback game.
Yep.
Great coverage downfield will get you a sack on this guy. Limiting this guy to 2-3 yards gains, or throwing the ball away because he can't break loose. That's as good as a sack in this game.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to.
Yep. If they could contain that guy and make him have to throw, Notre Dame's going to win that game running away. But if you're going to over pursue or let that guy run around, you could end up in a stressful situation. Pat, I really appreciate you being back. And I wish you well tomorrow. It's the big Ryder Cup event.
That's my thing, man. I'm 3-0 as captain. 3-0.
It's the big Ryder Cup golf event. Pat's a captain in his flight. And I wish you well, man. I know what a big deal that is, how excited you are. So
the first match is at 8 a.m. I'll probably be at the golf course by 6:30.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. Get in there.
I got my kids working. Yep, I got stuff. I got work.
Manage your team. Say the things you need to say to certain guys. Don't say nothing to certain guys. Like, you know how to manage a golf situation like that.
Yeah, that's my thing now.
Pat, that Ryder Cup has a different vibe and a different feel, and it's beautiful, man. It's competitive golf. It's actual competitive golf.
It's competitive golf. And this is my thing, Johnny. They're asking for you.
I love it. There's people
They're asking for you. They
they're
want to know, where's
stressed.
John? Where's John? Why isn't he back? Why
I
didn't he
know.
come back and play again?
Yeah, I know.
I remember the year you took down Buck. That was a big point for your team. You guys won that one. That was a big point.
Yeah.
You did it early too. Buck thought he was going to run you over. You took him down on like 14 or 15. You know,
Yeah.
it was.
I had a pretty good day. But Pat, I wish you luck. I understand like the magnitude of that event. I played in this with you before. Good luck with that. And we'll handle the Notre Dame stuff. You do your golf stuff. I'll handle this and then we'll reconnect. Listen, everybody, another great show. Thank you for the calls. Yep. Thank you for the chats. Everybody being here, all the excitement. This is beautiful. The tailgate's going to be great. We're going to meet some new people to bring into the Always Irish family. It's going to be good. But I appreciate it very much. So everybody, have another drink. Have a good night's sleep. Wake up, and we won't have to wait long. We're going to get answers to these questions. And then don't forget, I'm going live right after the game. And if I'm wrong, call me an idiot live to my face. Everybody have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow.
Later.